Hey, folks. I thought it would be worth coming on to just hang out for a little bit, say hey, celebrate, right, as it were. Um, Today was a big day, right? Be 100% honest with you, not a day I didn't think we'd be celebrating today. I didn't think we'd be getting what we got today ever. Uh, so hello everyone. Thank you for coming out. Yeah. Um, there's still things to be discussed in the future. However, for the moment, let's kind of live in our victory, as it were. For those of you, there's a bunch of you here, and I'm sure the numbers will continue to grow as we sit here. However, I will say I will try to answer any comments, questions, and things that people throw in the chat. If it gets to that point, super chats will just go to the top of the list because that's just kind of how that works because they get called out separately. Yes, we are officially out of initiative. I think we can all take a long rest, honestly. And I think it's very needed. Get those spell slots back, recharge those hit dice, enjoy the respite while we have it, right? Does this cool down the interest in Black Flag, Pathfinder 2e, etc.? I don't think so. It might for some. Some people never left, right? And some people are already... I've already seen comments about people already re-upping their D&D Beyond subscription because they got what they wanted, and they're going back. And you know what? I can't fault those people for making those decisions. The biggest thing we fought for, we got actually more than we asked for, honestly. If you haven't watched my video with Noah that I put out earlier today, I will recommend that you do so. Because again, a lot of people are saying they didn't say OGL 1.0a is irrevocable. No, but 99% of people that were using the, maybe not 99, but either way, a large percentage of the people that were using the OGL 1.0a were using it to get access to things from the SRD 5.1. That's now given to us in Creative Commons, which actually provides us more freedom for creation than the OGL 1.0a ever did. The difference being older content is still covered under the OGL 1.0a. So, for example, they didn't say anything about deauthorizing it. They put, again, everything that's the core mechanics in the SRD of 5.1 into the Creative Commons license. Older stuff, for example, thank you for the super chat. Rear appreciate it. Like if you wanted to create content in 3rd edition, that is still covered under the OGL 1.0a. There hasn't been a real flat out discussion whether or not that will be revoked. They did say in their FAQ that they were looking to put older content into Creative Commons. So potentially we might see, I think it was the SRD 3.0 or whatever it was, the one from 3rd edition, that may end up in Creative Commons as well, which basically means everything that you had in the past, you'll be able to include going forward. Now, let's see. Let's check what we got. Yes, with the Creative Commons SRD mentioning Strahd's name, you can use the name. It's the same thing with like Beholders and Mind Flayers. You can use the name. You can't use, obviously, the stat blocks. Those aren't included in the SRD, but the names are. That could get a little confusing, but you're technically allowed to use those names now. Do I think it's truly over? For the time, yes. For what we're fighting for currently, yes. Now, where we are now is kind of where I thought we would ultimately be, kind of, in 2024. I never in a million years thought that they would have tried to undo the OGL 1.0. I had figured, and I have videos on the channel where I say this. You can go back and find them. There's a couple of future of D&D videos. But my thought process was going into the new edition would be they'd come up with they'd either cancel the OGL entirely for the new edition, or they'd come up with a newer OGL for the new edition. And your options were continue to create for 5th edition, as you always could, Or if you want to create for the new stuff, you have to sign our new OGL, publish it only on the DMs Guild, whatever mechanism they were going to use. That was my thought, is how things would go going forward. Continue to create as you always had, or sign up for whatever our new thing is if you want to create for the new stuff. Which is kind of again, that's been my mentality, what I thought they were going to do. I never thought they would have the balls to try to cancel a 20-year-old license. And ultimately, in that respect, we're back to where we were in December as far as things go, right? Everything that, the OGL 1.0A SRD content is now Creative Commons, and therefore is free to use and irrevocable because the Creative Commons license is. We still don't know what the future holds. We still don't know what's going on with 1D&D. And a lot of people have brought up, and rightfully so, what does this mean for the backwards compatibility to 5th edition now that the entirety of the base 5th edition rule sets have been included in Creative Commons? How does this change the backwards compatibility of it? Who knows? Has there been any word about putting 4E? I don't think we'll ever see 4th edition stuff in the Creative Commons license. Maybe we will. That'd be wild, to be honest with you. I'm still skeptical. No corporation capitulates like this unless there's something in it for them. Well, their stocks are down a significant amount. They already announced that they're cutting a bunch of employees, and I think they were down over $4 a share from yesterday. That'll make you capitulate pretty quick. And I also feel like, again, purely speculation at this point, they see Hasbro cutting employees, and they're like, man, we have a big movie that we're staking a lot of money on coming out in 2 months. And if that flops, then we're probably next on the chopping block, because we shelled out all this money for a D&D movie, and if it doesn't make its money back and then some, we're going to be in the hole, and then they may look to cut Wizards employees. So I think it kind of may have been give the nerds what they want, so that they might go see our movie. That's just purely a guess. And yeah, Dang Panda says where did it go? Something along the lines of, I'm thinking they're going to focus on their virtual tabletop. I agree. I think that will be kind of what they're going to just kind of go and focus on, whatever that's going to look like going forward. What's the difference between the Creative Commons and the OGL? The OGL was an open license that existed, that allowed you to create things underneath it, and then you could also use access to things from the SRD. The Creative Commons license, so the OGL also had parameters of what you could and couldn't use, and it was structured in such a way you actually get more by having it be Creative Commons, because this is a irrevocable worldwide license. Again, I'd say for the majority of folks who were creating 5th edition content, they're not going to see much difference from the OGL to the Creative Commons. But again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a contract type person. So, just, do your own research. Yeah, it's essentially, Tommy Kratz says it's basically public domain. More or less, yeah. Do what you want, folks, but WotC isn't getting any more money. Yeah, so, like I said, I have the email too, Galleon, with the email from the influencer team. I have it. I also been organizing, myself and several others got the, unless if this is the most recent one that came out today, about inviting us to speak with Kyle Brink, who's been the kind of the face to all of the recent conversations. Yeah, I did receive that to meet on a one-on-one virtual meeting with them, with Kyle, to have a discussion about the OGL. So, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be compiling a list of questions. I'm also coordinating. If they're smart, they'll enable creators to make content for them. Yes, Dang Panda, I agree. Honestly, if they made D&D Beyond like a Steam-style service, or maybe this new VTT, a Steam-style service where people can publish their own things within it, that would be a very smart move for them, a very smart business move. But yeah, I'm actually working with some other third-party creators to compile a list of questions, because we don't know how much time, at least I don't think we know at this point, how much time we'll have with Kyle to answer and how many questions he'll be able to answer. So I'm working with other creators to figure out, hey, if we're only given 5 questions, we don't want to duplicate. We want to make sure we're getting as much information as we can. Again, we'll see what kind of answers we'll actually get. But, if we have a list of 15 questions and we can only get them to answer 5, let's say, I'd rather have I ask 5 and then somebody else ask a different 5, so that way we can try to get as much info as we can. Do I anticipate they'll try to split 1 D&D from 5e? They're definitely going to put it behind I'm assuming some sort of new license in some way. Does this mean that WotC might have any control over any of the lore? They always had control over their lore. The only thing you ever had access to in the SRD that allowed you to use it, to make money on it was whatever's contained within the base rules. So whatever's within the stat block, you don't have campaign settings or things like that. Oh, I think I answered CH Joe's question. Am I able to talk about the interview? Well, basically, I got an email from the the influencer team at Wizards of the Coast. And it said something along the lines of, if you're interested, we've invited you to sit down virtually to have a one-on-one, virtual conversation with Kyle Brink, again, I think he's the executive producer of Dungeons and Dragons or something like that, about this. And it was a nicely written email. Said something along the lines of, like, you're a pillar of the D&D community, and we know we've hurt you and your fans, and we want to work to repair that relationship. I'm assuming it's the same email that Bob got. I know a handful of other people who also got it. Here, I'll read it to you. Let me pull it up. Where is it? Here it is. As you might have seen on social media, our team has officially announced that the OGL 1.0A will not be touched and that the entirety of the SRD 5.1 will become available under the Creative Commons license. We understand that there are many questions remaining, especially regarding the former. More importantly, that there's a long road ahead of the D&D team to start rebuilding trust with the community. We wanted to reach out to you, one of the many pillars of our community, with an opportunity to have some of your questions and concerns answered directly. Our team would like to know if you'd be interested in sitting down virtually with the D&D team's executive producer, Kyle Brink, to ask the questions that are close to you and your community's heart. If you are interested in participating, please let us know so our team can assist in scheduling and answering any logistical questions. Please note that this interview will be able to be recorded and shared at your discretion. This is not a closed room interview. It is a conversation that we want to be as public or as private as you desire. The past few weeks have hurt many people, but more than anything, it has disproportionately hurt all of you, the creators and lifelong fans of Dungeons & Dragons. There is hard work to be done by our team. That work starts now. Sincerely, the Wizards of the Coast influencer team. So that's the entirety. Maybe I'll make that a separate video where I'll read that out. But that's the email, the creator email. So yeah, they seem, again, in vein and in the light of all the things they've been saying, that seems to kind of all hold true, right? They want to have an open communication, as private or as public as I'd like it to be. Not a closed door interview, so it doesn't sound like there'll be any NDAs or things that I can't say necessarily. I may be able to ask questions and then I won't get the answers that I want. I may get a lot of PR corporate fluff answers, which again is all the more reason to coordinate with the other influencers who got this email to make sure that we're not double talking and asking the same questions so that we can try to get as much as we can out of it. And this time I fell in love with Pathfinder. Yeah, I mean, I made the video earlier, right? Pathfinder sold out the 8 months of their stock, of their back stock in their warehouse of books in 2 weeks. Yeah. We can make spells now like Strahd's Midnight Symphony. Yes, you could. You could not do that before. If you wanted to create a physical deck of illusions that included a Beholder Ace of Diamonds in the SRD, is that allowed? The titles, again, the SRD never covered art, so you can't reuse existing 5e art. You can create your own. You can also now apparently use the name beholder, which you could not use before. I think we had a super chat. I don't trust WotC to keep their word. They broke my trust until OGL's irrevocability is in stone. Again, depending on what your thought process is on the OGL, they did it. I mean, they put all of the content again of the SRD into Creative Commons, which is irrevocable. So, in that respect, they did that. Unless you're specifically creating things for the OGL using OGL 1.0A to create 3rd edition content, for the most part, your stuff is safe. You're actually safer creating now under Creative Commons than you would have been under the OGL. But again, if you had older content, I think technically if you had Pathfinder 1 content, that's still covered under the OGL, so that's something else. Possibility I've seen suggests that Paramount themselves might have been given them basically told Hasbro and WotC, like, yo. I mean, I get that. That kind of stuff happens, right? Where people kind of come in and they tell you something. Again, it's no secret that I work for a utility. We've talked about that in the past. And sometimes, workers at a utility or, at Verizon or whatever, they'll go on strike. And sometimes, if something happens, the state or a regulatory agency can step in and be like, yeah, figure it out. You got to get back to work because there's a storm coming or something like that. That could be what happened with Paramount. They could have been like, yeah, you're having a movie come out that we're a part of. Fix your shit so we can get this movie to be successful. Are you still going to start covering other systems? Yes. I am still going to cover other systems. I actually have another system RPG open on my 3rd screen right here that I've been reading through today. I placed orders for a bunch of other RPG books. I even have my own RPGs that I just never read that I'm looking through now. So I think one of the biggest takeaways from this whole situation is that I will be looking into and covering other RPGs here on the channel. But as it stands right now, I will likely continue to cover things that are going on in the world of Dungeons and Dragons, as I feel like we're at a point where I can comfortably do that and not have confliction with myself. Plus, I mean, if you've moved away entirely and you are curious as to what's going on in the world of Dungeons and Dragons, whether it's them changing something with the OGL or flip-flopping on something else, you've got someone here to cover it for you in video form. Okay. Can Kickstarters? No. So the Artificer, okay, I'm going to put this, everybody listen up, okay? Focus right here. Artificer is not a thing that you can create for. Artificer has never been in the SRD 5.1. And if I'm going to be honest with you, I bet you it never will. Now, that is a kind of question that I would like to ask Kyle Brink when I have that conversation is, do you plan to add any additional content to the SRD 5.1, like other spells, right? For example, they haven't updated it since 2015, so there are a lot of spells like Hex, for example, is not a spell in the SRD 5.1. So if you wanted to make a third-party subclass, right? So you're going to make a subclass for something, right? When I pick a base 5e class, when I say base, I mean not Artificer. Pick a class, and you say, hey, I want to have like its domain spells or add to its spell list and give it Hex. Well, you can't because Hex, I believe, I'd have to double check, but I'm pretty sure Hex is not in the SRD 5.1, so you couldn't do that without potential legal action from Wizards of the Coast. Obviously, if you released it for free, you'd be fine. And if you released it through the DM's Guild, you'd also be fine. But you couldn't publish it yourself or Kickstart it or something like that because that's not covered under the SRD 5.1. So one of the questions I do plan on asking is, do you plan on making any updates to the SRD 5.1, adding additional content, whether that be extra monsters, extra magic items, extra subclasses, spells, feats, again, the Artificer. My thought process is that will be one of the carrot on the stick for the whatever the next edition is. So let's say they're just going to call it 6th edition, right? And they're going to come up with a new OGL 1.2. We'll still call it 1.2. And it's going to come out, and it applies only to 6th edition, right? You want to create content for 6th edition, you have to sign the OGL 1.2, right? Or agree to it, or put the creator badge on the front cover, whatever it ultimately is. And I think possibly one of the carrots on the stick for that is SRD 6.0, which will cover that, let's say, will allow you to create for the Artificer, and that would be a means to be like, hey, if you want to do that, you need to agree to this. Or continue to create for 5th edition with no harm. That's my thoughts. Again, could be wrong, but I think that makes the most sense. My bet, it probably wasn't our feedback that caused this reversal. Paramount probably threatened them. That's a possibility. I mean, something caused their stock to drop, whether it was us or otherwise. So I'm sure the stock changes are what caused the ultimate shift. Well, again, something somebody else had said is, or I had heard in conversation is, for the longest time, it seemed like deauthorizing in every iteration of this whole situation for the past month or so, the deauthorization of the OGL 1.0A was like a steadfast thing that appeared in every different iteration. So in my mind, I thought that was their main focus, right? That's the thing they were going to focus on. Everything else was just, icing on the top, right? Like the royalty structure. When people questioned that, the first thing they dropped was the royalty structure, which to me sounds like the royalty structure of making that money wasn't really their focus. They were just like, hey, we could get a little bit of extra money on the side from it. But considering the first time the contention was there, the first thing they were willing to drop was that, which makes me feel like, again, that wasn't the most important thing to them. I thought the most important thing was the OGL 1.0A being deauthorized, so you couldn't continue to create content for the older version. They were going to force you to sign their new one if you wanted to create any content for D&D. And again, I'm thoroughly surprised we're here having this stream talking about it, because that happened. So in that aspect, again, truly a win, in my opinion. Yeah, I understand your hesitancy to return, Kevin Lee. Creative Commons for Artificer, Alan, no, not yet. Perhaps in the future. I'm gonna say don't hold your breath, but maybe you know what? Like I said, I didn't think we'd be here talking about what we're talking about right now, so who knows at this point. Maybe they will. Let's see. Deathman, right now I just have a can of Mountain Dew Code Red that I've been drinking, and I've got a cup of coffee over here. I was gonna do booze, but it'll just make me sleepy. I'm old now, guys. Like, beer makes me sleepy. So Tiefling and Dragonborn are in. They always were. Tiefling and Dragonborn, I believe, were in the original base rules. I think anything that was in the base rules of the game was in the SRD 5.1, so it was always fair game. But no Artificer. Joshua Park, yes, I'm pretty sure it's the same email Bob got, and I know from a handful of other creators they also received the same email. Scroll back up. Personally, I don't trust Velocity to keep their word. They broke my trust. Yeah, we talked about that already. The email. To be fair, I don't want to put a fire at this point. How do you want to celebrate? I don't know, guys. I'm just like, it's like, I was talking to a bunch of other people because, like, again, the first video I made on this whole concept was December 20th. So this has been over a full month of this has been weighing on my mind. And it's just like this huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders that we're at right now, where I can just kind of really relax. And I was talking to some other folks that have been kind of in it with me throughout this whole thing. And they're like, can we get a redo of our holiday, like of Christmas and New Year's, because we feel like we kind of missed those, because this is kind of a thing that's been weighing on everybody's mind this whole time. I would love, like, and it's also, again, I saw some people saying, and I agree, like, it's still only January. We haven't even made it one full month into 2023. On top of all of the nonsense we've been dealing with for the past 2 years, this has been the longest 1 month of my life, it feels like. Um, let's see. Yep, I covered in a video this early morning about the Paizo situation. Um, could you ask if OGL 1.0 will still be allowed for anyone that agrees to any new OGL? Could you ask if use of OGL 1.0A will still be allowed for anyone that agrees to any new OGL that may be? I can, but I'm pretty sure the concept of this new OGL, it's going to be like 1.0A will stay there for what it is. I don't think they're going to use that as the framework for the new edition. I'm pretty sure they're going to make a new version. I could be wrong, but let's see. I saw some people talking about Dungeon Crawl Classics. Yeah, I talked to Jordan yesterday, after our Great Modron March game, and I might look to get into another DCC game. There's one on my channel, I think, a long time ago. Maybe it was on my Twitch channel. I forget. We did a DCC funnel game back in the day. You mentioned GURPS before. Used to play that system. Yeah, I never played GURPS, but I've heard of it. Thank you again, Fox Monkey, for the gifted subs. Really appreciate that. Or gifted memberships. Sorry, I'm used to Twitch terminology. Yeah, you can't use the term artificer, and you can't use the exact mechanics, but you could make one. And or maybe you can't even use the word artificer. I don't know. There have been other people that have made their own level 1 to 20 class that is basically an artificer, which you are technically allowed to do. Do you have any thoughts on how to balance an RPG diet? I'm planning to try at least 2 new RPG cores a year. That's an interesting concept, because this went out to like a tweet poll that I'd put out a while ago about, like, and I might have done it here on YouTube too. How long does it take you to get used to a new system, right? Because realistically, if you're going to start playing a new RPG, say today or tomorrow, like, is a one shot enough to give you a feel for whether you like that game enough, or like, do you need a couple, how many episodes or sessions or whatever it is? And to me, that's the hardest part with new RPGs, is one, you got to learn it, whether you're, so let's assume in this instance you're running it, right? You got to feel comfortable enough to run a game in it. You got to teach your players how to play it enough that they feel comfortable playing it. And then you probably got to do what, 5 maybe to 10 sessions to kind of get your story arc that you wanted to tell done, and then also have your players feel comfortable and confident enough to want to, that they got a good handle on the system. And then it's like, okay, that if you're doing 1 game a week, which is a pretty reasonable thing, that's 10 weeks right there to kind of get the concept of grasping this new RPG, assuming that, it didn't take a lot of time ahead of that 10-week period to get people up to speed and for you to feel comfortable enough to run it, because that could be 12, 15 weeks just to get a chance to try like a short campaign. So that could take some time. Got my Avatar: The Last Airbender Kickstarter today. Yeah, it's awesome. I love it. 1,000 rings. On a scale of 1 to 10, how big a win is this for the good guys? That's hard to quantify, but yeah, closer to 10 than anything, based on what happened. Let's see. We won. Good rebellion, everyone. Yeah, for sure. There were CEOs of smaller companies that were putting Hasbro CEO on blast. If it gets to that, Yeah. I did see D&D Shorts video. Um, he finally consulted an IP lawyer and he laughed at them. Coordinating efforts. Where did that go? With other influencers, do you plan to list the help from journalists? Um, well, I'm sure that I don't know if the journalists have been reached out to as well. Um, I could. I have contacts that are journalists, so it's a thing I could do. But I think the nature of this is they want this to be a conversation and less like a true journalistic interview. Not that there's anything wrong with approaching it from a journalistic attitude, um, but I also don't want it to come off too like they're offering this, so I don't want to spook them. I know that's probably not the like the I don't want to scare these folks and be like, oh, I asked the wrong too journalistic-y question, right? And now like I scared them and they're like, yep, we're not answering any more questions. I don't want that to happen, right? So I don't know. Uh we'll see. I yeah, I have a bunch of scotch upstairs, but I'm just not really feeling it. Watch the memes from the Discord. Yeah, we could do that. We could make that its own video. I was gonna do that. That is a picture with me and Bruce Campbell right here, right? You're asking about there, Joda. Also, you can't. It doesn't come up too much, but this right here is my signed chainsaw. That's signed by Bruce Campbell. It's right there. It's a real home light chainsaw there, signed by Bruce Campbell. Um, uh, I feel like I could use a nice break, but chat is on slow mo mode. It probably doesn't need to be as slow as it is, but it just makes it easier for me to catch up on things. Um, mm, have you tried Shadowrun? I made a character for Shadowrun 3rd edition and I never played it. That's about the extent of it. Um, well, thank you, Salami. Oh, Salami Tactical. There's a name I haven't seen in a while. Thank you. Um, hey, all. Thank you again for all the super chats and the kind words. Appreciate it. Um, just keeping up with the chats here. Making sure I don't miss anything. Um, doubt the next edition will have an OGL. It may not have an OGL at all. 6th edition may not have one or whatever they're gonna call it. It might just be like you do the whole DM's Guild thing, or maybe if they do make their own virtual tabletop, you create it within that framework. I don't know. Let's see. So 1 to 3 months to get used to a system, at least a year to get really familiar. Yeah, that's the problem, right? It takes like, if you're gonna try to learn a bunch of new systems, which I am attempting to learn, how do I feel like? And then it's just like there's only so much. There's finite room up here, right, for stuff. And what am I pushing out to learn a new system? I'm very excited to explore Dragonbane. That is one I'm very excited to explore. I know it isn't TTRPG related, but how are you feeling about Lightfall? I'm optimistic about Lightfall. I know there's been some interesting stuff going on with Destiny lately, like the whole going down for 24 hours thing. But I'm excited for honestly build crafting. Probably one of my favorite parts. I'm excited to flip around with Strand and give that a shot. I'm also excited to see if the Darkness wins, which I assume they do with a name like Lightfall. But either way, I took the day off. I'm excited to do the legendary campaign. Am I open to creative D&D questions? Yes. I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but yes. What's the benefit of Orc versus this public using the Creative Commons license? Why doesn't Paizo, etc., publish under Creative Commons? I'm not sure, to be honest with you. Draw weight on this recurve is 55 pounds at... Yeah. Draw weight on this bow is 55 pounds. Oh my god, I just forgot. At 55 pounds at 27 inches on that recurve. You open a new D&D 5e book, and you see a class ability called Rage Against the Dying of the Light. What would you imagine that ability would do? Well, I mean, Rage is automatically going to make me think of a barbarian. So I'm going to say some form of extra damage. Against the dying of the light, though, that makes me think like it's maybe some sort of healing or like defensive capability. That's an interesting question. What are the top 3 TTRPGs you're looking forward to trying? Dragonbane, Avatar, the Avatar Legends system. Alien. I've got stuff queued up for Alien. I've got some stuff queued up for some of the other ones. I'll be running an Army of Darkness campaign with the Army of Darkness RPG. Starting in about a month from now. We have the cast. We're just waiting for people's other obligations to end. I'm very excited for that. I'm also going to be running a Power Rangers RPG campaign at some point. So yeah, I'm excited to try those. We're going to be running an Alien RPG here on the channel in the next month or so. We'll be doing like a short Alien series. So we're going to be streaming all of that stuff here on the channel. So just a lot of new stuff to try out. Again, I'm still continuing with our 5th edition content that we have. But trying out some new stuff to see what's going on. I had some contacts at Paizo. I reached out. I'm going to look to try to maybe do some promo and work with them. I do have some WizKids Paizo minis that I've already unboxed. I have the videos already uploaded to the channel. I just haven't put them out yet. I'm also going to use my concept or my concept, what the hell was that? Potentially, if I can, use time at conventions like Gen Con to actually experiment with new RPGs. Possibly. I know that's a wild concept. I almost never play games when I go to Gen Con. Although I will be doing a lot of True Dungeon this go round, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. We won a victory for the masses. Yeah, me too. CB Drawer, I think so. Are you doing the Dungeon 23 challenge? I wanted to, but with this whole OGL thing, it was just the furthest thing from my mind, unfortunately. Devin Hicks. Yeah, we're in a weird spot, right? We'll see what the coming weeks bring. We have this whole like keys from the Golden Vault kind of like low key. Here's the cover. The one D&D survey for the cleric closed, but with no real fanfare. We're gonna get a 1 D&D playtest for the paladin and the druid next week. Who knows? We're in a weird spot, right? It's like so again, I used a lot of references to the rebels defeating the Empire, right? Return of the Jedi. We are in our yub nub moment at the moment. Everybody's singing because the Emperor's dead, the Death Star's destroyed, kind of a situation. Again, it's a metaphor, but consider. How do you think they felt like immediately after that? Because they're probably like a lot of weird, like, we did it. What do we do now? And like, yeah, there were still things to seek out and stop and things to rebuild and grow. which is kind of where we're at. So we'll have to see what time tells. There's a fully fleshed out, yes, a Dungeons and Destiny. I am familiar. A good friend of mine, and actually my whole Destiny like clan, we've been looking into it, and I wanted to run some stuff, but I just haven't had the time with all the nonsense lately. So one of my clanmates said that he would run a one shot of it. So that's something that I'm looking forward to doing as well. Uh, Power Rangers RPG is fun. That is one of the things I got to play at Gen Con 2021. The Renegade one, correct. Um, uh, what do you think this means for UA? Will that be covered, like the Mystic and all those feats and subclasses? No, those are probably just going to stay where they're at, to be honest with you. That would be my guess. The Dungeon 23 challenge is where each day of 2023, you draw a room of a dungeon each day. So at the end of 2023, you have a 365 room mass mega dungeon that you created day by day over the course of the year, which is pretty cool. I really like the concept of it. We might get the Paladin Druid playtest this week. I'm not sure how quick they want to jump into promoting new stuff. It might be worth just holding off for a week or so. Like, let this cool down, let everybody kind of settle into a sense of normality before you start throwing new stuff at us. But you never know. Have I done Avatar Legends with... no, I haven't. I haven't really had a chance to read it. I heard it's based on the Powered by the Apocalypse system, or loosely based on it, which means I know it enough, or at least I'm familiar enough with Monster of the Week, more so than traditional Powered by the Apocalypse, so I think I should be able to kind of pick it up. Uh, Several books. Yeah, I read the Jedi Knight Academy series pretty heavily in my younger years. Let's see. If you want something, Jason tried Dice Throne. I couldn't imagine being a WotC employee right now. I'm hoping they hire some great people after their layoffs. The Fate Forge books, potentially. I feel like I've heard that name before. WotC pushing its SRD 5.1 to Creative Commons, to me, just kind of implies they are ramping down their 5e content. That's also possibly part of it too, right? Is this a battle to fight right now? Is it worth us? I mean, granted, everything we're talking about right now, like, oh, if you're a corporation, is it worth fighting this battle for a 8-year-old system? Just release it to Creative Commons and keep everybody happy. Had you done this a month ago, or had you just not touched it at all, we'd be in a very different situation. But that's not what happened. Would love to be a fly on the wall at Hasbro and WotC. Yeah, you're not kidding. Monster Week is so fun. Let's see. I kind of want to join in on the Dungeon 23 thing. Yeah, I mean, you could always jump in and just do 27 rooms worth real quick and catch right up, and then you could always go a little further ahead so you can miss a couple days and you don't have to do it necessarily. Have I read the book Star Wars: The New Jedi Order Vector Prime? I don't think so. It sounds familiar. Do you think the 3.5 SRD will be made? They said it in their FAQ. If you were to go to D&D Beyond and look at the what was it? Did they remove it? The OGL 1.2 FAQ at the bottom, or did they remove it? Oh, they shut it down. It all links back to the OGL 1.0A and Creative Commons. All right, so I guess you can't get to it anymore. But did they all link there? Yeah, I think they, or at least a couple of them linked there. Basically, one of them had said at the bottom in the FAQ, we're looking to add more older content to the Creative Commons license. So potentially. Um, I've heard of Torg Eternity. Um, what are my thoughts on Tailspire? I haven't personally used it. I have played a couple. I played. No, it's not a couple. I played a one shot in Tailspire. Or no, I'm sorry. I've played at least 2 games in Tailspire. My friend, one of my Destiny clanmates, actually, Kugo's Mighty. He's here on YouTube. Um, he ran a couple of games using Tailspire. So it wasn't bad. It was really good for like positional stuff as far as like visualizing combat, which was cool. Um, let's see. The game my table's talking about is Shadowrun. Oh man, yeah, Roll for Combat. Yeah, it's what a day, huh? It's been a roller coaster ride of emotions these past couple weeks. So, um, have I used World Anvil? I did a long time ago. And I think I actually have to catch like I've known about, like I said, I've been kind of on the stuff's been on the radar for a while for me, and I'm it's really been messing with my like ability to like check emails. I know that's a weird thing. So I have a lot of catch up to do on emails, and I do think I have an email from World Anvil looking to sponsor just like my channel. So you might see some World Anvil content in the future. We'll see about that. Um, I also want to just say a thank you to, even if they're not here in the chat or they don't get a chance to watch this till later, just the amount of people that came out to message me, um, old contacts in the industry, friends, fellow gamers that I haven't played with in months or years, who sent me like emails or tweets or direct messages or even texts that were like, hey, I just really appreciate all the work you've been doing with this whole OGL thing, just breaking things down and continuing to put content out about it. I really appreciate it. It's really helped me a lot. And those things go a long way, right? To just help you. I mean, your comments and all that kind of stuff do the same thing, right? Help us want to keep making this content. It's been a very rough patch. I know a lot of people have been struggling with making content. Um, and it's mentally taxing, right? For a lot of folks to want to like, I mean, it's rough to come on here and only be able to have essentially negative things to say. While negativity actually surprisingly does well on YouTube. It's been a big weight on everybody, kind of a big dark cloud hovering over a lot of people. And I know from a lot of people that like you might see their videos and you might not know that this has kind of been weighing on their mind, and it absolutely has been. So it's been. I will say I have strengthened several relationships from banding together with people to get through this. I've made new friends and new contacts in the process of this as well. So, it's not all bad, right? There are some silver linings and things that have to be taken from this whole situation. Um, hmm, let's see. Uh, hmm. Let's scroll up, make sure I didn't miss anything. Um, How to Shift RPG? Yeah, I actually have an email from the folks from Hit Point Press about Shift. I have to get back to them on it. Um, I've just been working through stuff. Uh, let's see. Make sure I didn't miss anything. I think we're gonna just one D&D, more like none D&D. Um, can you talk more about the Creators Association that you and Noah mentioned earlier today? I'll be honest, I just know about it from Twitter. Noah and the other folks that are working on it. I really don't know almost anything about it. I'll be honest. I just saw it and I thought I would bring it up while I happened to have him on a call. So I'm sure more information will be coming out of it. I would check Noah's I think he posted something about it on Twitter. Let's see. Let me see if I can pull it up. Also, I saw somebody in the chat commenting saying that I quote pissed on other RPG systems because they're hard to learn. No, you're just flat out wrong. What I said is I think it takes around 10 weeks to fully 10, not even 10 weeks, 10 games to truly learn and understand and get a feel for a system. Yeah, I could read a book right now and then know how to play a game, but that doesn't mean I know the system and have a feel for it. And I said 10 games seems like a good number to shake it out, to figure out how it works. That's been corroborated by thousands of people in polls, several people here in the chat, and 10 weeks would be if you're playing one game a week. Listen to what I say when I say it. Let me pull up Noah's thing here. See if I can see if I think he posted something about this union. Yeah. Here it is. Let me pull it up here for you. Huge win today against the whole OGL fiasco. Now's the time to heal and work together. Wizards did the right thing, and we should welcome it with humility. But rest assured, we are still vigilant. Noah Downs, other creators in the community, and myself are working to create a third-party TTRPG Creators Association to ensure that nothing like this happens again. And if it does, we'll be ready and organized for it. That's about the best I got for you on that. More to come. And I'll continue to cover it, and whether I pull on someone like DM Dave or Griffin Saddlebag or whoever else, all of whom I know. I think a lot of them will actually be seeing at PAX East in a couple of weeks, months, 2 months, month, 2 months. So maybe we can have more information by then. So anyway, let's go back. Did WotC invoke Skeleton Key? Is part of the game's canceled? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm incorporating a lot of Cobalt Presses stuff into our 16-month-old 5e campaign. Yeah, I've been using Cobalt Presses stuff since the start of my 5e campaigns, and I love it. And I mean, that's, again, especially, I also want to point this out, right? Some folks are going to go back and to WotC stuff, and I'm not faulting people who want to do that. And like I said, I may still end up covering WotC stuff on this channel at a point. We'll see. We're still in a very tempestuous situation where we don't really know where things are going to go. But you also can continue to play 5th edition without ever touching a WotC product at all, if you want. You have the base rules now in the Creative Commons license, and you can get the base rules for free. And then you could just use purely third-party content if you want, whether that be from... And there's hundreds, if not thousands, of third-party creators out there. So you could just... I mean, the amount of Kickstarters alone, right? You could be using supplements or adventures or both from all third-party stuff. So you got plenty of stuff to look at. Let's see. Do you prefer to act as a DM or a player? That's hard for me. So for a long, long time, I was a forever DM, right? I was always the one running the game. I ran several multi-year long games. Some in Dungeons and Dragons, some in other systems. So I kind of got put into that DM role. And I do think to a degree Some of my friends thought that they couldn't do it, or that they didn't have the creative juices or wherewithal to be able to run something. Because essentially, when you sit down with somebody to run a game for you, you're kind of entrusting them with, uh, that they're going to make something fun for you to play in and experience and build a world that you can have and enjoy. So you're kind of putting not necessarily pressure, although in some instances you might, onto somebody else who's now going to provide you with entertainment for several hours. And I think a lot of them didn't feel like they could do it. Some of them have proven the fact that they can, and they have since then. But for the longest time, I was like, all I want to do is play. All I want to do is play because I haven't. And like, there was like a good, it's not 14 years, maybe like 10-year period where I just hadn't played a game. I had only ran them. And I finally got a chance to play in a couple of them. And I got burnt on a couple because the DM didn't really get it. They were newer DMs and they very much had like a story they wanted to tell. And like if characters made decisions that didn't go along with the story that they wanted to tell, they directly basically counteracted it and told you that you couldn't do whatever that was. And I feel like that was very much because they were new and they had an idea in their head. They should have just wrote a book, honestly, rather than trying to play a TTRPG where you have to deal with people making decisions. So then I kind of went back to the DMing side of things, and now I kind of have like a nice middle ground, where like I get to play sometimes, but I also enjoy running games, and I do think that helps, right? If you are constantly running stuff and you get to take a break and be a player for a little while, that can kind of like recharge your creative juices, and potentially, right, if you're like playing in somebody else's game, you're like, man, I hate the way they're handling this. I would never do this in my game. Now you're like, well, I have mental notes in my game. Don't do whatever that was. Or like, oh my God, I love this. This is so great. And you could be like, cool. I'm going to make sure I do that in my game. So I kind of back and forth on that. What else we got? Sly Flourish, Nerd Immersion, D&D Shorts, and D&D Rules Lawyer. Oh, well, thank you, Ray. Appreciate it. What else we got? Hot take: 5e Paladin or Pathfinder Inquisitor? I'm gonna have to go with the 5e Paladin because I don't know Pathfinder enough to make a choice, or I'll abstain because I need to learn more Pathfinder. So, and that's a thing I do plan to do. So then I'll be able to give you a true answer at that time. How do you get the untimely death of a good? How do you get over the untimely death of a good campaign? I don't think you do, my friend. Unfortunately, the best thing I was able to do is when a campaign kind of died, in a subsequent campaign years later, I built a prophecy that involved the characters gathering heroes, ancient, legendary heroes from all over time and space, other realms, some dead, some alive. And basically, part of that prophecy was bringing back the characters from that campaign that ended with the untimely TPK. And then one of the missions after they had gathered the team of heroes was to complete 3 missions. And one of them was that original team going back and finishing the campaign, essentially, or at least the final part of the campaign that they never got a chance to. So everybody got closure. That was just the way I did it so that I could. I also had a really cool story I wanted to tell. So. Hot take: roleplay heavy or combat heavy? I like combat. I've always been a combat guy. That's me. And maybe that's just the games I played in and the upbringing that I had and how I got started. I played, I started with 3.5. I was, and obviously you can, if you've played 3.5, you know that there's a ton of options and a ton of builds. And there are definitely ways you could do stuff that would be very suboptimal and ways you could do things that are optimal. And then there's a whole varying spectrum in between. But it could take me hours to come up with a cool character build. And then most of the time, more often than not, it would be combat focused. And like we did do some role playing, but I felt like role playing was at least in that campaign was less a part of the game as more as like the mechanics of combat and things. So I'm gonna lean to combat for me. Uh, let's see. I don't know. Marisha seems squirrely. I think she might win the creator clash situation. Mm. Nothing charges a DM's juices more than being a player with a bad DM. Boy, is that true. That's actually why my first campaign that I ever streamed 6 years ago, maybe even more than that on this channel, was because we had been playing my friend Jake, who you may know from the channel. It was his first time ever playing D&D, and we had a really bad DM. And I was just like, I want to run a game for you so you can see what it's actually supposed to be like. And that's actually what led to it. I was like, no, you got to come over. I'll run a game for you. What's the funniest, most memorable intro to a campaign you've encountered? Like a pre-written one that like has a funny intro, or one that I've played in. Yeah, Dorigo, we'll have to see what happens. Mr. Immersion, in your early videos when this started, look, flop, sweaty, caffeinated, and sleep deprived. It was great. Well, that's what my life is usually like, my friend. Whoa, Jordan, you're hitting me with these hard ones here. What 3-5 class, prestige class, would I bring into 5e? You realize there's hundreds of prestige classes, right? Oh, what's my favorite prestige class? This is very difficult. Man, that's really hard. Damn. I don't know if I know. Man, I am really torn. This is a really good question. Do I have a document with like prestige classes listed? Maybe I can hang on. If I have one, maybe I can look at that and that'll kind of give me the answer. Um, come on. I know I have one somewhere, right? Don't I? Feats. Damn, this is just feats. I need prestige classes. Crap. Man, I don't know. That is such a hard question. There are so many prestige classes. That's templates. Damn it. I don't need templates. I need prestige classes. This is gonna rack my. I'm gonna go insane thinking about this. Dragon Shaman I want, but Dragon Shaman is not a prestige class. It was a base class. I've done a couple of top 10. I did like 2 top 10 classes I wanted to have brought over from. I think I did 2 of them from 3rd edition to 5th edition. I'm using your samurai crab in my world. Too good not to use. Thanks for all your dedication. LCH, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy the samurai crab. Did your video talking about top 10 things from 3.5 that you wanted back mention prestige classes? I believe so. Sorry, my nose is really itchy. I like hairs from my mustache are tickling my nose. What Cobalt Press book should you get first? Can't really go wrong with Tome of Beasts 1. Or Creature Codex. Hellbound Johnny, do you trust that we've won? I'm waiting for the other shoe. I do think we won what a lot of people wanted, right? You got the SRD 5.1. There might be more to come, but I do think for the time being, we can consider it a win. Let's see. Let me see if I can find a list of SR or okay, hang on. I think I found a list of prestige classes. Let's see what I can pull up that I like. Okay. Here, I'll show you guys where I'm at. This is tricky because there is a lot here. I mean, Blade Singer was good, but we kind of have that already. Purple Dragon Knight. This one's way better than the one we have. Tattooed Monk might be one I would bring over. I really like the Tattooed Monk. That could be a lot of fun. Let's see. Dragon Magic. Nope. So battles a whole nother animal. I know there's more than this because I can think of some that I don't see here. Yeah, I like the Order of the Bow Initiate. I was always a big fan of, as I always liked archers in D&D. There was like a Beastmaster was one. It's a complete adventure. Where's that? Do they not have? Oh, they don't even have complete adventurer on this list. Weird. So that's one they're missing. They're also missing complete divine from this particular list. So those would be ones I would probably pull from. Yeah, there was a Beastmaster was a good one. I don't see Unearthed. Is Unearthed Arcana here? Nope, Unearthed Arcana's not here either. So yeah, I'd have to keep looking for my favorite prestige class. I thought that had all of them, but it very clearly did not. Ooh, Forgotten Realms helped. Did they have a list? Because they were pretty good. Well, they're just kind of broken up in alphabetical order, which is going to be difficult. They did have the Battle Rager, although it was still not what I wanted it to be. Ooh, I liked the Blighter, right? That was the sort of evil or the like the death kind of based druid. I always thought that was pretty cool. I can't remember if it was 3/5. There was like the Ooze Master. It kind of became like an ooze. That was pretty cool. I'm just scrolling through here. Since Forgotten Realms help, they have a lot here. There's honestly just a lot of base classes I would like to bring over, like Dread Necromancer, Dragonfire Adept, Dragon Shaman. Those would all be things I like to bring over as they were, at the full base class. Ooh, there was an Eberron one. Crap, Bone Knight. Ooh, that might be my winner. The Bone Knight from Eberron Seven Nations, I think it was the book. It was really cool, especially if you had levels in Paladin or Cleric and you converted to it. That was really cool. Let's see. Shadow Dancer is another good one. Hulking Hurler. Shadow Dancer, Ooze Master. Yeah, Shadow Dancer was good. The Player's Handbook 2 Knight was solid. It was another D12 class. That was interesting. I liked the Duskblade a lot. I liked the Hexblade a lot if you use the suggested changes from the creator, and you also use the variant class, the alternative class features, like you replaced one of the things with a Dark Companion, which is basically like your moving panther-like companion that just debuffed people when it was around them. That was really cool, especially if you took feats to get an improved familiar. Because my one Hexblade that I got to play, I had all the cool stuff, and I had just gotten a Warg. No, a Winter Wolf familiar, which I was very excited about. And then my DM took my character away. Because he didn't like my decision making, which I thought was ultimately fine given the scenario, and then said that my character was now chaotic evil, give him the character sheet, and then I had to make a new character. This was, I love him to death. He's a good friend of mine. Terrible DM. It was very much a him versus us mentality when it came down to it. So I used to have to build characters to combat his campaign. He also was not big on giving us stuff. So like if you've played 3.5, you know that like the game is built around at a certain point you have certain magic items or certain like amount of gold. There's a wealth by level table, and it kind of gives you an idea of like, okay, if I'm level 10, I'm supposed to have X amount of money or X amount of magic items because the game takes into account that I need that. We were like level 8 or maybe even level 10, and he was giving us starting gold from level 1. So I had to build my characters to be able to survive his like just outrageous campaign. And they used to have a table too in like DMG that would tell you like, okay, if your party is this approximate character level, and they fight a creature that's of such a challenge rating, you do like the kind of cross section to tell you how much experience points you should get for beating that creature. And constantly ours didn't exist, and it was basically like a bunch of asterisks, and it's like your DM really should never be throwing a creature this much more powerful than your party at you, and that was constantly the case. And I do remember that we had one of our players. He was the only one in the party who didn't have improved evasion, and he died every combat. Or he went down to negative hit points every combat. Because the DM would just throw like flashy big damage dexterity saving throw or reflex saving throw spells at him, like Meteor Swarm, and then we would just dodge it with evasion and take no damage. And the other guy would just get hit by it and then get knocked unconscious. LB, you're right. Thank you for looking out. You're great. I appreciate you. So yeah, it was a good time, other than the time that he. Well, I'll just tell you one more aspect of that story with that Hexblade I was telling you about. I think I had the realization that I'd been playing Dungeons and Dragons for like probably 10 years at that time, maybe a little more than that, and I was like, it's funny. I've been playing D&D for 10 years, and I've never been in a dungeon, and I've never fought a dragon. And then he made a dragon fly out of the sky, land in front of my character, and my character was solo at the moment, and then had this dragon attack me. Like a young green dragon versus me, a solo Hexblade, because I had just said that I'd never fought a dragon, so he had one manifest and attack me. And then I felt such joy when I absolutely destroyed this dragon like it was nothing in combat. It made me feel very good. He was not happy, but I was ecstatic. So I called my mom. She didn't care and didn't even know what I was talking about. But I called my mom to tell her that I killed the dragon. Um, cause I'm a nerd. Um, anyway. She was like, I was like, Mom, I just killed a dragon. And she's like, what? And I was like, no, Mom, like in D&D, I just killed a dragon. She's like, okay, honey, thanks. Um, uh, it just says the name. We covered it in the video, but it just says the name Beholder, the name Mind Flayer, and like the name Strad von Zarovich. Those, because of the way Creative Commons licenses are written, you can use those names in any way you see fit, but you can't necessarily use the stat blocks or things like that. Just the names. Um, yeah. It was basically, I think a session after that is when I lost my character sheet because he said I did a bad job or something. Um, uh, yeah. It I had just gotten the Winter Wolf familiar too. I was so pumped. I was like, yeah, this is so awesome. I had my dark companion, and I had a really good like a sudden stunning weapon, which was really good for a hexblade. And I had like the right feat so I could like demoralize opponents in combat, which just gave them like crazy negatives. And I was so pumped about my character. And then yeah, he just took it away because one of the other characters that I just met died, and I didn't like go out of my way to try to save them. Um, so anyway, that was that story. When's the best level to bring a beholder at your players at like full power? It's how many players, but I'd say like level 8. You could probably bring in a beholder, maybe 10, depending. Um, so you know what? Somebody brought it up, and now I think it's as good a time as any. I had done something on my Discord, and I had done an OGL meme live reaction channel. I put it up. And I thought I was going to do it earlier, and now I think it's actually a good time to do it because it seems like most of our OGL drama and stuff is over at this point. So now seems like as good a time as any to, now that most of it's done, to go over these funny memes that you sent me and live react to them. So, um, let me go ahead and pull this up, and we'll go through them together. It'll be fun. Try to get some joy out of this whole situation. I just gotta scroll to the top, which is a problem because there's like thousands of these things. Can I jump to the top? Discord? Come on. Scrolling up to the top. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got. Oh, well, we have the classic. The Grandmaster here, right? Good revolution, everyone. You're welcome. Wizards of the Coast achieved the impossible, finally convincing tables of 5th edition players everywhere to give up the one game their Dungeon Master has been banging on for about 2 years now ago. Yeah, all those DMs out there that are like, hey, we should try this other game. And they're like, no, we'll play D&D. And Wizards of the Coast did it. Okay, we got Chad, Virgin Wizards of the Coast versus Chad Paizo. Those people will only be half right. They won, and so did we. Our plan was always to solicit the input of the community. The OGL is for content creator, the homebrew, the aspiring designer. We wanted to address those attempting to use D&D and Web3, blockchain, and NFTs. It's clear we rolled a 1. And then we've got Chad Paizo over here. Gaming is both perpetual and irrevocable. We believe that any interpretation of the OGL 1.0 way were intended to be revocable. It was deauthorized is incorrect with good reason. We'll be there at your side. You can count on us not to go back on our word forever. This is a pretty good one. I like this one. Also, I did want to say there's something in here that triggered something. I think it was Bob Worldbuilder made a tweet about it, and he's like, but if you decided to put everything in the SRD 5.1 into the Creative Commons, how will you protect against NFTs? Which was, one of the reasons they were saying they were doing what they were doing. Again, this is a classic. The Michael Scott quote doing those people will only be half right. They won and so did we. Wizards of the Coast's Guide to Gaslighting. WotC Bingo response card. Something about NFTs. It's just a draft, bro. We love this game. Released on D&D Beyond Twitter, not actual WotC. We hear you. Misunderstanding. Lots of rumors going around. Something about protecting the brand. We need to do this. This is a good one. Get out there and defeat your bosses today. For legal reasons, we feel like we should clarify he means D&D bosses. I mean what I mean. Inside you, there are two wolves. One that wants to switch to Pathfinder. One that wants to keep playing 5e without giving WotC any money. But both wolves are cool as hell. Yeah, this is a good one. I love this one. But they were all of them deceived, for another license was made. In the land of Seattle, in the headquarters of WotC, the Dark Lord Hasbro forged in secret a master license to control all others. And into this license he poured his cruelty, his malice, and his will to dominate all life. One license to rule them all. WotC about to stream the chat spamming hashtag OpenD&D. It's afraid. What a great Starship Troopers. You see a lot of Starship Troopers memes going around. That's pretty good. Wizards. Cast Dispel License. Paizo Golem. A golem is immune to spells and magical abilities other than its own. Long live the orc. WotC executives. Face it. You're never going to get my power. Paizo for the second fucking time. Do I look like I need your power? OGL 1.1. I am inevitable, orc, and I am Paizo. Oh, here's the Bender one. Fine, I'll make my own D&D, Paizo 2009, with blackjack and hookers. Fine, I'll make my own OGL, Paizo 2023, with blackjack and hookers. That's a good one. Your big D&D movie is coming out. How do you market it? We'll release OGL 1.1. Oh, man, it's so true, though, right? I wish 5e players would be willing to play games other than D&D. Yeah, 1.1. Yeah, this is another good one. The age of the OGL is over. The time of the orc has come. Paizo. Yeah, this is a good one. Do not cite the deep magic to me, Hasbro. I was there when it was written. This is about the OGL 1.1. We've seen this. This is the double crit fail video showing the Avengers. It's a really good one. By the way, thanks to all of you, we got enough likes on the tweet that apparently Double Crit Fail might make a Yub Nub version of this. Well, we succeeded. Games Workshops, no. What? Oh, sorry, Force of Habit. The year is 2008. Wizards of the Coast has released the GSL to attempt to better monetize D&D at the expense of third-party publishers. In response, Paizo announces that they will be creating the Pathfinder role-playing game. The year is 2023. Wizards of the Coast has released the OGL 1.1 to attempt to better monetize D&D at the expense of third-party publishers. In response, Cobalt Press has announced they'll be creating a role-playing game. Open D&D, WotC. All right, we'll call it a draw. Oh, this is the other one. We talked about this. They changed this art, by the way. I don't know if you saw that. They removed this, the bar the gate, counterspell blue card art. They changed that on D&D Beyond. There you go. Green Ronin, Cobalt Press, Rogue Genius, Chaosium, Paizo. The Empire has made a critical error, and the time for our attack has come. Converting my 5e character to Pathfinder, making a new orc character who has a law degree. Finance open RPG license, abandon rights to prevent WotC from taking it over by money. Biggest publishers in the world to the new license everywhere, D&D stuff included. State that you are ready to fight WotC in court. Refuse to elaborate further. Leaves. Paizo. This is another good one. We've got the Orc license, shooting down WotC Boromir here. Ooh, hang on. I haven't seen this one. There is one I have, something I did see we got to watch as well. Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one. I have an army of lawyers. We have an orc. WotC with D&D thriving as a major TTRP out there. WotC creating the OGL 1.1. Why would the TTRPG industry do this to me? Oh, it's so true. Oh, these are funny. Wow, I have too much money. Damn it, what am I going to do with all this money? It's literally falling out of my pockets. Won't somebody please take some of this money? So anyway, that's how I imagine our target audience. Oh, man. If I had a nickel for every time WotC made Paizo look like the hero, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. WotC canceling the OGL 1.1 announcement as they see the mass unsubscriptions. Hashtag open D&D. Several big third-party companies announced the abandonment of D&D. I sense I've made a mistake of some kind. Am I out of touch? No, it's the fans who are wrong. Yeah, accurate. WotC Roll's worst OGL ever, asked to leave the TTRPG industry. Oh, this one's hard to read. New open game license kills all virtual tabletops unless owned by Hasbro. Independent creators pay royalties or shut down. Hasbro polices indie creators, can shut down content at will. Hasbro can steal content to sell or subcontract with no compensation to creator. Hasbro can update this whenever they want. How is this an open game license? Our only open content now is homebrew. It's not open. You have no rights, and that's not homebrew. It's under-monetized, pre-publication Hasbro IP made by unpaid interns. We just keep them here to steal their ideas. Look at them go. WotC trying to pull a fast one through obscure legal documents. A community that spends an obscene amount of time reading and interpreting legalities and rules. Accurate. Oh, we've got another everybody attacking Wizards of the Coast here. Riders of Rohan. Where is Paizo? D20 system fans waiting through WotC shills. Oh, this is a good one. I like this. We've had a lot of good. There's so many good memes. I'm glad I decided to do this. You think you're better than me? I am better than you. We saw that one already. Oh, this is a good one when they announced that they were one of the most just companies the day after like the OGL leaked. Yeah, that was a good one. Note to self, never screw over the D&D community. It's almost like these people run campaigns for fun. The title of most scumbag company, EA turning the sword over to WotC. The OGL 1.1 arrow. When a creature is hit by this arrow, they must succeed against a DC 40 charisma saving throw or sign over the rights to all arrows they create to the wizard. Or they may be pursued by an army of fiend lawyers. The contract allows the wizards a non-exclusive, perpetual, or irrevocable worldwide license to use the arrows any way they choose. However, the wizard pinky promises they will never use the arrows against you, though they did already break their pinky promise to never create the OGL 1.1 arrow. Upon creation of the OGL 1.1 arrow, all original OGL 1.0 arrows are destroyed, so generously, within 7 business days, even though by now these arrows have been recycled into the foundations of the very buildings that have been supporting the wizard. Also, the wizard may change this contract at any point. Lol. Seriously, though, what kind of idiot picks a fight with thousands of rules lawyers at the same time? Oh, we got another video. OGL 0.1 situation in a nutshell.
And here's the money for my D&D Beyond subscription. Yeah, thank you. But I actually thought about it, and I decided that you're gonna give me everything you have in your pockets right now. Wait, what? I make money when you give it to me. So if I force you to give me more, I will get more money. It's a bigger profit. No, that's... No. Wow, that's incredible. Yeah, of course, makes sense. Yeah, you know what this means? That you're willing to kill me for a profit? It means that we together protected our community. We worked together to stay very inclusive. We're heroes. I've been cheating on you with Paizo for like a year now, and their rulebook is way girthier than yours. I just thought you would like to know that right now.
All right, let's keep going. Yeah. Watsy, you can't defeat me. Players, I know, but he can. That's a good one. I saw a couple different versions of this. I'm gonna dethrone D&D with my new system, Cobalt Press. No, Swall is amateurs. What was that, punk? Amateurs. Paizo. What we got here? Hasbro Watsy. Till all are one D&D. Yeah. We watched the OGL. We didn't watch it this go around, but we have watched it. Let's see. Oh, hang on. We got another video. Spoilers for Endwalker. Final Fantasy fans. Also, all
I craved and more. Boundless power. Mine to command. I had intended to pit my fractured divinity against Xenos, but a more tempting option presents itself. The greatest obstacle to my ambition. You will trouble me no longer.
got a lot of good ones on here. It says, even if Ted doesn't understand, the server will. We've seen this. This is similar to what we saw from the original video. The problem with watching that video is it getting taken down by Disney. Bound for Spud Lord. You said we could use the system free forever, and we'd still own our IP. I'm altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further. Accurate. Open gaming license. You keep using that word, but I do not think it means what you think it means. Are you kidding? Have you seen their plans for the OGL? Watsy tries to destroy OGL and hides under desks. Paizo makes their own calls at Orc. Looks like TTRPGs are back on the menu, boys. We're taking away the OGL, destroying third-party content, strangling the communities, so you have to use our VTT. Paizo, we're embracing the TTRPG community. We're building our own license that can never be revoked. Acknowledge me. D&D is under-monetized. Destroy the OGL. Steal third-party content. Utilize the toy division to make more merch. We want the ability to create content and help grow the community. Best I can do is steal your content. Oh, we got some Hamilton in here. Have you read this? Have you seen... There's some good ones. Look at me. I'm the license now. Oh, just another video here. Just some poor unfortunate souls. Yeah, okay, that probably got taken down by Disney. Yep, classic. All right, we can watch the world's... I want to watch it, but it's just, it gets taken down by, like, Disney. Man, I wish I was more like that guy. But he probably wishes he was more like somebody else, too. Holy shit, I'm glad I'm me. I'm especially glad I'm not that guy. D&D fan. Never thought I'd die fighting side by side with a Pathfinder fan. Pathfinder fan. How about side by side with a TTRPG fan? I could do that. Me just started playing D&D. Yeah, I feel bad for the people who just got into it right as this whole thing was going down. Sign OGL 1.1 or draw 25. What are you? An idiot sandwich. Classic Hasbro. The 9 Hells, Hasbro HQ being in the bottom row. Yeah, again, this is another one, right? Everybody here coming out against OGL 1.1. You release a statement regarding the OGL with lies. Roll a deception check. WotC Hasbro burning all that money. WotC releases OGL 1.1. Fans cancel D&D Beyond subscription. Paizo releases new and improved Orc license. Also publicly states they will fight OGL 1.1. Cobalt Press announces plans to publish their own TTRPG. Me being out of cell service for a week. What the hell happened here? WotC wants to monetize TTRPGs further. Paizo, an error occurred. The wizard must be stopped. The more you tighten your grip, Hasbro, the more players will slip through your fingers. We're starting to get into some duplicates here. I am forever irrevocably open for everyone. OGL, give us your money for your work. Give us... WotC right now. Third-party content, illegal. Online tools for D&D, illegal. Pathfinder, illegal. Using anything but D&D Beyond VTTs other than 1D&D, illegal. This meme, guess what? Illegal too. Most D&D memes use users reading endless OGL memes. Me, married to an intellectual property lawyer. Oof. When did Wizards of the Coast abandon reason for madness? That's a good one. Someone at Hasbro and Just Capital clearly needs an update on what stakeholders are. Stakeholders are the human component of the service and all those that have an interest in IT services. Stakeholders include also users and or customers. Even though often taken for granted, stakeholders are vital to achieving the organization's objectives. There is no OGL 1.1. It's just a draft. Third-party content is safe. Gonna make my own OGL, Blackjack and Hookers. How to kill a brand in 10 days? Man, that's a pretty accurate one. Because it was about 10 days. First day of 2023 and not trying to jinx it or anything, but I got a good feeling about this. Yeah, this was too funny that this is from the actual D&D account that this came out. Well, this is the... I gotta say, I'll play it over here.
I'm proud of you all.
Because this is the same thing.
This revolution has been a huge success. Yay us. Pat on the back.
Yeah.
Pat on the back. Come on. No? Me too, because I've been a big part of it. Can't have a revolution without somebody to overthrow. So, you're welcome.
And it's a tie.
It's a tie.
That's a good one, yeah. We're holding Brennan Lee Mulligan hostage, so you better stop or we'll do something. We don't know yet, but we will do something. OGL 1.1 word count. It's over 9,000. Yep, there's the nickel one. Oh, that's the 1D&D to rule them all. Legal Eagle and American Bar. Yeah. Just everybody beating up on WotC. WotC equals no, Orc equals yes. Ever wish your hours of doom scrolling Reddit about the OGL meltdown could now be filled with soul crushing work? Well, today is your lucky day. r/D&D Next and r/1D&D are looking for new moderators. Note that this post is covered by the ORL 1.1 ABC open Reddit license. If you so much as acknowledge the existence of this post or Reddit, then the mods own your soul, your house, and your favorite pet. No take backsies. There are markings. It's some form of selfish. I can't read it. There are a few who can. That language is of corporate, which I will not utter here. In the common tongue, it says 1D&D to rule them all, 1D&D to find them, 1D&D to bring them all, and in the courtroom bind them.
I shan't mince words with you for long. I am challenging you, sir, to a duel.
I accept.
Are you serious?
Now I accept your challenge.
Do you want time to think it over?
No.
Or...
Nope, not at all. What time were you thinking of dueling?
Anytime is good, really. I don't have... You don't have time, because you would have to go out and get a proper gun.
No, I have a gun. I actually keep one right here in the drawer.
You got one right there? I don't need to see it.
I like to keep it loaded because you never know who's going to walk into a law office these days.
Safety first. So, let's rethink some things. Let's say that you've learned your lesson now, and I've learned a little lesson, and we'll call it even, and I will respectfully decline the duel.
Well, you can't decline.
Eh?
As you know, once the duel's been accepted, you know, there's no backing out. I mean, that's the law.
Yep.
Anyway, great. This is settled, and I was looking for something to do tomorrow afternoon anyway. So I'm going to pencil you in
Don't do it.
for high noon tomorrow.
Don't do it.
And don't worry, because wherever you are, I'll find you.
Yeah.
I'm going to put one right between your teeth, and it's just going to pop out the back of your neck.
Wizards of the Coast once said, second, you're going to hear people say that they won and, and we lost because making your voices heard forces to change your plans. These people will only be half right. They won, and so did we. A week after all of their fans left. And now Watsy's shenanigans have awakened a great Cthulhu from his dreams in the house of, I think it's, yeah. Tag around and find out. Scientists baffled by company's incredible ability to fuck up every time. Neurologists at Johns Hopkins University confirmed Monday they remain completely baffled by Renton, Washington-based company Wizards of the Coast, a company that possesses an extraordinary and previously undocumented ability to fuck everything up. Just one more thing, sir, and I'll be out of your hair. I noticed that OGL that was sent out to content creators to make them a deal. Now, in your statement, you said it was just a draft. Now, isn't it odd? I gotta tell you, I just can't get it out of my head. Hasbro Wizards of the Coast seeing third-party creators selling products under the OGL 1.0a. After all, why not? Why shouldn't I keep it? Oh, okay, here we go. Oh, this is gonna...
I sense a presence.
More Star Wars are gonna get canceled here.
Felt since Master.
Yeah, I'll turn this down because I don't want to get. I also have to talk over it because you know Disney will come after us if that's.
Impressed to see you have survived.
Because that's just kind of how it is.
I used your training, Master, and I have built all this in hopes of.
So we'll just kind of. This is Discord.
Fortunate that you are
And we'll see. We'll have to see what else is here.
Master?
Oh, the original OGL. What's gonna happen? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think you're right. It is 4 minutes long. Does it keep going? Oh, it just keeps going. Oh, and then there's the lightsaber fights and whatnot. Yeah. With apologies to Laura. Yeah. While you're on giving Hasbro the credit they deserve, they managed to accomplish something that was long thought impossible after years of folks trying to convince 5e players to try their games. Hasbro came along and did it in the span of a week. Incredible. Yeah. Do you have any better hostages? Liches of the Coast. What do we got here? Adventurers. I, the Dragon of the Dungeon, summoned you here to discuss the terms of our previous agreement. Basically, the rules have changed. You guys will need to pay me tribute and swear permanent, undying loyalty. Also, any slight based on my unilateral judgment gives me the rights to destroy all of you. What's the issue here? The deal benefits me greatly. Why aren't they happy with it? My lord, the entire community discovered the OGL 1.1 contracts. They're furious. Well, and tell them they were drafts or something, wanted feedback, and we cared deeply about their little community, yada yada. But sire, those are blatant lies, and they know it. They detect lies and decipher legalistic language as a hobby. They will never believe it. Well, make a joke or something. Feign humility. There will be no dawn for the third-party creators. Board members demanding higher profits. WotC. Accurate. Let's see. And one D&D to rule them all. Wizards of the Coast releasing new OGL. You have no power here, players. The IP is mine. Hashtag D&D be gone. What Hasbro think WotC's financials look like after 20 plus years of growth and prosperity. Oh, there's a face palming me. Here's more of the Grandmaster. Oh, classic. Oh, we've seen that one already. We've seen that one already. That one already. Oh, there we go. I looked forward in time. I saw 14,605 futures. And how many did you scrap our 2-year campaign to make us learn a whole new system over a call to boycott? None. A better time to start an Aeon run as you watch time and history repeat themselves. We are too big to fail. We're the first. Who cares if we delete every user's entire message history? No one will switch to another platform. No one will switch. We're the first. Who cares if we... This is a deep pain. Oh, cool. It gets worse. 50 years of accumulated D&D content. Independent players. Accurate. It's this one.
For within these editions was bound the power and tools to create beautiful stories at every table. But they were all of them deceived, for another edition was made. In the depths of corporate offices, in the fires of greed itself, the Dark Lord Hasbro forged in secret a master edition to control all others. And into this edition they poured their avarice, their lust for money, and their will to dominate all homebrew. One D&D to rule them all. One D&D to find them. One D&D to wring them all, then out of their wallets bind them. In the land of corporate greed, where Hasbro lies.
A lot of good Lord of the Rings ones. These are some of the best. Like all these videos where they put like the people's names over it, like the quality. Oh. D&D fans explaining how the company that owns their hobby is now being mean to them. Warhammer fans. Keep going. Oh, did we do it? Did we? Oh, yep. Here's the corporate devils. Hasbro Deus, Count of Capitalism. That's a pretty good stat block. Greetings, 5e community. Have you heard the good news about Pathfinder? Enjoy Eldritch Horror in your 5e games? Go all in and embrace the madness. 5e players don't use the rules anyway, so we went ahead and removed all of them. Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. Experience the gritty and perilous world of Warhammer, an immersive and detailed dark fantasy RPG. Shadowrun. Oh god, please don't play us. Just forget we exist, please. Somehow every edition is worse than the last, and even the good editions weren't that good. It's like they made the setting cool and the rules an unplayable nightmare on purpose. Others might ascribe it to a trick from a cruel and angry deity, but deep down it always came down to the rot and corruption at the heart of the CGL. Did you know that I can't even read past that, but there you go. Is there going to be a D&D 5.5 edition? If we do an update, would be different. Be very different approach, backwards compatible. This is Mike Merles from September 27th, 2016. Paizo customers, thank you for the kind words these past few days and for the overwhelming support of product on our open gaming sale. Yeah, this is recently, right? We've run through an 8-month supply of our Pathfinder core rulebook in the last 2 weeks, which is true. They've blown through 8 months worth of warehouse stock in 2 weeks. Just finishing up the plans for the future of D&D Beyond. There, all done. Check it out. We're going to be rich, but be careful. We don't want this leaking. I know. Genius, right? And the best part is we can put out half-ass rules and mechanics that the players will have to pay us for the privilege to fix in their games. Yeah, we saw that one already. Oh, we got a Marley and Marley.
We took advantage of the fans, just ignored the pleading. We're monetizing everything, draining your account. And if we do not like your speech, we'll simply throw you out. This was the year.
This is really good.
The entire anniversary. I remember the players all standing in the card shops with their little devalued collectibles. We're Hasbro and Fonzie. Our decks are mono black. We should have known our sneaky deals would get us both in trouble. Faith go down in double time, bombarded by the hate. As freedom comes with 1.0, we have to close the gate. We're Hasbro and Fonzie.
This is so good.
Hasbro and Fonzie.
My friends, you were not unfeeling towards your fellow men.
True, there was something about customers we love. I think it was their money. Ours too. It's ours for all time. We'll take your creativity if we perceive a crime. Your fate is judged by what you say and do.
You had your fun, but now you're gone. You only have this room.
What a terrible change.
The fans. Some will claim they've won by their acts of rage, but we also won ourselves.
Come now, speak comfort to me, friends.
Frankly, you will be gaslit by 3 spokesmen.
Gaslit? I've already had enough of that.
Without this change, we cannot hope to increase our own stock score. Expect the first post tonight when the bell tolls 10.
Can't I meet them all at once and get it over with?
When the bell tolls 10. Hasbro and Fonzie. Hasbro and Fonzie.
This is really good.
Hasbro and Fonzie.
That was fantastic. I loved that. 1500 TTRPG publishers. You can always bully large corporations like Hasbro. It's always morally correct. Oh, people are freaking out because of all the things that have been added into it being in the Creative Commons license. Paylor, Waterdeep, Demogorgon, yeah. We did it, lads. OGL and 1.1 and OGL 1.2 are dead. Party, drink, and celebrate, but never lose vigilance. The corpo never rests. That's why we take watch in turns. I love this. This is fantastic. This is pretty accurate, too, right? D&D consumers, I won. I won? Wait a minute. I'm not supposed to win. Let me see that script. Fishblade. Oh, that's too funny. D&D community trying new systems in support of the OGL controversy. D&D community going back to 5e now that the OGL controversy is over. All right. Should I talk about Fishblade? It's like one of those things that, like, I don't want to be that guy, right? I almost made a video about Fishblade, but I think Fishblade just speaks for itself, you know? You guys are really gonna make me do it here? I don't know. AJ, you're here. Do you think I should I teach them about Fishblade? don't know. Did we really? Oh my god, you guys are so persistent. All right. I can't. All right. You guys really want to know about Fishblade? I'll tell you, but it's not gonna be the same. Oh, I'm saying again, people, don't do it. All these people coming out asking about Fishblade. I don't know. Way to go, Tony. I see you in the Discord. You did it. It's you. There's a tweet. If you find it, you'll know all you need to know about Fishblade. My heart tells me not to do it, AJ. That's what it tells me. It tells me I shouldn't spoil. It's more fun if you don't talk about. If you like, Fishblade's like Fight Club, you know? Like you're not supposed to talk about it, but everybody knows about it. Kind of a thing, you know? Does that make sense? It is a diceless game. I'll give you that much. It's a diceless storytelling game. So, you got that full going for you. Let me see. There was another video people were saying that we should check out. We're going to watch that in a second here. Let me pull it up. Oh wait, it was today. Where the hell was it? Damn it. Was it? Oh, okay. It was. Hang on. Scrolling back to find it. Here we go.
Hi everyone. A lot has happened in the past week, and we here at Wizards of the Coast, the stewards of D&D, hear you. We're listening. Now listen to us. We see people on the internet calling OGL 1.1 a soulless corporate money grab, or a big middle finger to creators, or evil. But us companies, like people, aren't just good or evil or chaotic or lawful. You can't just split us into categories like that. Like, how would that even work? Like, what? We have always been opaque with the transparency of the truth. When we initially said that this license was just for NFTs, I mean, you believed us at first. When we told creators to give us all the rights to all the D&D content they've ever made by First Light, or we'd raise their villages, that was just a draft that we asked you to sign. People sign drafts all the time. And was the OGL itself just one big lie to the entire tabletop community? Who's to say? As a longtime D&D player, I hear you. There is nothing like kicking back with some friends, drinking poor people beer, playing skee ball, and enjoying half-off appetizers on Wednesdays at participating locations.
Cut. What do you think D&D is?
Dave & Buster's, right?
That's D&B.
So how is that different? They're both nerd shit, right? As a longtime player of D&D, I hear you. I've been putting dungeons in my dragons for years, and none of that would be possible without the labor of the creator community. All we're asking for is just a little piece of the pie. I mean, it's not like any of your livelihoods depend on this. It's just a game. We want to thank our own employees who came forward with their thoughts, and rest assured they've all been sent to the pit. They've been given raises and promoted as we enter the next era of Dave & Buster's. Shoot. Dungeons. Okay, let's do it again. As we enter the next era of D&D, it is important for us to celebrate what is so special about this game. Can we bring in the board?
There's no board.
What? What do we even sell? Thank you. Whoa, that's heavy. So, people read this? Do they have nothing better to do? What's a paladin? So the dragons are the good guys, right? Because they take care of all the gold. Oh, apparently employees are saying we're scrying on them in their private messages. Don't they know it's called spying? What's MILF's acid arrow? We took how much from Tolkien? Do they know? This is the thing that we made that people like the most. This? God, I want to go to Dave & Buster's. You wanna go? It's Wednesday. What's a sword? Maybe I can get a job there.
If Critical Role says anything, you kill Sam Riegel. I don't care who says it. You kill Sam.
It's not on, right? What's a Gary Gygax? Pit, 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 pit. God, I wish we could send them all to the pit. Wait, you can just share PDFs on the internet? Chill Touch. That's a well-named spell. Can't it just be dungeons? Or dungeons. No vowels. Dungeons. Yeah, nerd shit. So, in conclusion, we need to spend a little more time getting the new OGL just right, which will happen around the time you all forget why you were mad in the first place. You're going to hear people say that they won and we lost because making your voices heard forced us to change our plans. Those people will only be half right. They won, and so did we. There are no losers. Nobody lost. I'm a winner. I'm a winner. I win. Win this. Good job. Thank you. Doing really good. I'm proud of you. Yeah, I got your back. We're gonna do this. We're gonna take over. We're gonna rule the world. We're gonna fight till we can't fight anymore. I'm really proud of you. You're so good at your job. Thank you. I needed to hear that. So from the bottom of our hearts, we just want to say, please, please, please stop canceling your D&D Beyond subscriptions. Oh, this is the game from Stranger Things. Do we make money off of that?
Oh, that's good. Here, you guys, some people asked for the link. Here you go. That Chef Kiss. So good. So good. Oh, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that thoroughly, going through all of that. So anyway, if you're watching this later on YouTube, that was my OGL 1.1 meme live react. So, if you're watching later, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. If you're still live, we're still here. So, hi. Yeah. I did it. That was a video I wanted to make for a while. And there's some really good stuff in there. That last video was just solid. Oh, man. Excellent production quality on that one for sure. What scotch do I drink? It depends. I bounce around. Honestly, whatever I have. I don't even know what's upstairs. I mean, Johnny Walker is fine. I like Macallan, pretty big fan of. I don't know. I had some I just had recently, and it was just like, it was perfect. I don't remember what it was, but it was so good. It had no bite. It was perfect. Oh, my God. Just like melted in your mouth, like evaporated. You drank it, it just like hit your tongue and it like evaporated. It was great. Maker's Mark, solid. Yeah. Lagavulin, yep, also good. Somebody wants a backdrop tour? Does that mean like the things behind me? Is that what we're talking about? I guess we could do that. Outstandingly subtle. Is that what you're asking? The stuff that's behind me? We could do that if we want. I'll wait to see your response in 25 seconds. All right. Okay, we can do that. So, here we have this is a picture of me with Bruce Campbell right here. This is a picture, signed picture of Mick Foley right here. Okay. This is a bow. I did a short on it today because people don't understand how bows work. So that's a bow my dad had. It's custom written. My name's custom on it and everything. This is my D&D. I don't know if you guys can you guys still hear me from this far away? I don't know. I'll just yell. This is my D&D shorts light that they sent to me. The D&D shorts community. They sent that to me. I have a ghost. Destiny. Right? I have... This is an engram light from Destiny. It goes through all the different colors. You can't... if I turn the lights off, you can probably see it better. It goes through all the different colors of engrams when you tap it. That's that light. There's these D20 lights that change color. Hidden in the back here. We have Drizzt, Guinevere. They're hanging out over here. Let's see. There's a strange coin from Destiny. Ugh. There's a hive ghost from the Witch Queen and the whole I forget what it's called, but the thing it sits on top of that you can put in all sorts of sensors and whatnot. There's my chainsaw, signed by Bruce Campbell. It says, "Saw you later." Back here, from back in the Critical Role, Vox Machina thing, there's the dagger. Let's see. From Evil Dead, the board game, there are my dice made from the actual cabin from Evil Dead 2. This is wood. These dice are made from the wood of the actual cabin itself. That's pretty cool. Well, my wife got me these. Big fan of Avatar, so I've got a Uncle Iroh Jasmine Dragon teapot and teacup. There's one of the I don't know if the batteries are dead. They might be. I might need to charge it, but one of the wand collection, the metal Pokeballs. It comes in the case. I have to charge it. The battery's dead. Anyway, these are the heavy metal Pokeballs. There's a random kunai, metal kunai, hanging out over there. Let's see. There's a wand over here. There's a little Master Sword that lights up. Push this button. Apparently, the help comes off of that. I just found out. Let's see. The WizKids Hand and Eye of Vecna. Well, there's some fan stuff. So, some fans sent me a custom Ted Funko Pop, which is really cool. Fan sent me a custom Nerd Immersion flask. They also sent me a custom wooden Nerd Immersion dice tower, which is pretty solid, with the little Nerd Immersion logo down here as well. It's on the side. This is really cool. I'm a huge fan of this one. Put that back. We got, what else is over here? A fan took a little like dice box and wood burnt it for me. Someone also sewed me this dice bag. Inside the dice bag are some custom orange dice that they made for me. They also made me a set of dice lights, also out of orange. Oh, my arm tied up. Hang on. No, wait, we're good. Come on. They made me a set of lights out of orange dice as well. Battery-operated lights. I think the batteries are dead. I have to replace them, but dice lights. Let's see. Oh. My Time Wizard from Yu-Gi-Oh! I have used this Time Wizard in countless decks in my Yu-Gi-Oh! Days, and this Time Wizard always came up heads, and I always was able to destroy the entire opponent's field worth of monsters with this Time Wizard. So he hangs out back there. Some of you have heard of Bob. This is the piece of string that I used to represent my giant crocodile animal companion in my original 3-5 game. So this is the mini I used for Bob, this piece of tied together rainbow string. Let's see. Wait, go pick it up. Some of it I have to fix, but I have this sweet Kingler, my favorite Pokemon. I have this sweet Kingler evolution statue that I love because it's very hard to find things tied to Kingler. Like if my favorite Pokemon was Charizard, I'd be set, you know. I'd have stuff for, I'd be no shortage of things. And then another one that a lot of people like is my Ace of Spades. I'll turn off this light. Now my Ace of Spades back here, this actually pops off, and there's a water reservoir in here, and it's actually a diffuser. So if I turn it off and plug it in, I don't know if you'll be able to see the smoke coming out of it, but you can see it lights up. And there is actually smoke coming out of the chamber here. So if you're a fan of Destiny, you know that it's got like Memento Mori activated where the smoke comes out of it when it's turned on. So like right out of here, there's smoke coming out of that chamber. So there's a set of like oh god, like actual metal, like, chainmail gauntlets. You know, actually, just like regular metal gauntlets. They sit on top of my printer. I don't know. There's that shield, that Mialiki shield. That I made that out of foam. That was for one of my paladins. I was gonna do a full cosplay of my first 5e character. So that's a shield I made out of foam. This is just a master sword. You know, just one of the many iterations of that. There's a Celestial Nighthawk Destiny helmet here. There's a let's see if we can get this out of here. There's a Mass Effect Omniblade, Mass Effect 3. There's also a Mass Effect N7 helmet right there. That one lights up. The Celestial Nighthawk helmet does not do anything other than just be a helmet. And then there's, there's drawers here full of random stuff. I think in here, yeah, are all like the D&D Nerf guns are in here, and there's like foam kunai, coffee pods and extra keyboards and all that stuff. Oh, there's the silver play button. There's the custom neon sign. I think that covers just about everything. Oh boy, favorite Mass Effect companion. It's like a toss. Like maybe Tali or maybe Liara. I'm trying to think. Probably a toss up between one of the two. I do like Rex. And the Geth, whose name escapes me at the moment. Those two swords. Those are the GameStop version of Drizzt scimitars, Twinkle and Icing Death. They're plastic, but they're the best version of them that I saw. So, Legion, thank you, Eggroll. Or Andarius too. You said it as well. Legion, yeah, I like Legion as well. Yeah, there's actually 6 D&D Nerf guns. There was a set of 3 D&D Nerf guns called the Dragonfire set that came out a couple months ago with no marketing and no fanfare at all. And there's actually a set, a Target exclusive, by the way. And there's actually 3 D&D Nerf guns that are out right now at Target that are tied to the D&D movie, and they are all shaped after named after dragons that will be in the D&D movie. Yep, those are just plastic. They did make a metal set of Drizzt scimitars years and years ago, but they looked like crap, and they didn't look actually anything like the way the swords are described to look, with like the hat, the pommel looking like a cat and stuff like that. No, they didn't look anything like it. So the ones they actually made from GameStop, these are the best versions because they come with the scabbards, but a close second would be the ones that were at Spirit Halloween. Those were foam, like a foam-based product, and they didn't come with scabbards, but they were still not bad. Let's see, favorite Ghibli film. That's tricky. The first thing that popped in my head was Totoro, so I guess I'll go with that. That's just like the first thing that popped into my head. So I guess, yeah. Trying to think. what else? Is there anything else? Yeah, not much else in this room to really show off. Just have to say, I doubt anyone has said this before, but you remind me of Howard from Big Bang. No, people have said that before. I've heard it. Except if you had a full beard. Yeah, no, I've heard it. Have I started the Avatar RPG yet? No, I have not. I am very excited to do so. I've also been really big into Dragonbane, which is like, it's literally open on this screen right now, which is pretty cool. But no, I've been, you know, it's just been hard to do anything lately. So, have I played Pokemon D&D? I played a version of a Pokemon D&D thing at a point, but you know what? I'm going to take a short break here, guys. I only have my spooky break BRB sign. I'm going to do that, and then I'll be right back. I'll play some tunes for you guys. In the meantime, enjoy my Halloween-themed break screen and the music. Hey folks, sorry about that. I am back. Just need to get up, take a little break, stretch my legs, do all that good stuff. So yeah, I thought I would pop back. We didn't really have a discussion. We did kind of what I wanted to do already. We kind of had our little chat about what's been going on and the kind of hang out to enjoy things. And then we also, at the same time, got to talk about a little bit of the creator letter that was going around. That I got it as well, which is kind of exciting. And we'll see what kind of stuff can come up when I get to talk to Kyle Brink. And we also did our whole OGL 1.1 meme reaction, which was fun. We got to do it together live, which I enjoyed. Yeah, so that was kind of like, I don't really have any major plans for what we were going to do tonight as far as what's going on. So, yeah. Oh, I 100%, Robert Carpenter, I 100% will be recording. They said that it's totally part of the process, so I will absolutely be recording the WotC interview and definitely putting it out for sure. Yeah, I would check. I put out a couple of videos today. Actually, I have another video to make about Kobold Press because they are going to be doing, I think they said Project Black Flag Fridays, where they put out something today, and I just haven't had a chance to. No, I haven't. I have to actually still send a message to WotC to confirm that I'm interested, and then we'll work out the logistics of when it will be. But I also, like I said, I want to work alongside other creators to make sure that we're not doubling up on questions. So, yeah. I saw a handful going around. I mean, one of the things I want to know is, do you plan on including any previous edition content into the Creative Commons license? I mean, there are some open-ended questions that I'd love to get answers to that I'm sure I won't. Things like, why now? Like, why did you decide? What made you change your mind about the OGL 1.0A and decided to put everything in Creative Commons? I know they said it was the survey feedback, but I just kind of want to hear them say it. What's the future of D&D look like? Will there be a new OGL for 1 D&D when it's finalized? It's not. I don't think they're gonna do it as a town hall. Their message said, one-on-one. So, let's see. Excuse me. Let me see what else was said. Trademarks. Can we continue using the world's greatest role-playing game? See, I think some people had sent me some comments here. Let me look. What will you do for licensing with 1D&D? Why should the community trust that you'll have our best interests at heart after this? What do you plan from this point on to regain the community's trust and loyalty? They have any comments on the employees who came forward with information? Like to hear WotC directly explain the first leaked draft OGL and truthfully reveal how close it was to actually being official. I'd love to know what happened if anyone signed the deals that went out in December with the original OGL 1.1. Are they still beholden to those deals, or did that kind of get adjusted based on what's going on right now? Will you commit to releasing 1D&D SRD as Creative Commons immediately upon its release in 2024? Will you release 3rd and 4th edition SRDs to Creative Commons? Will you add the Artificer to the Creative Commons SRD? Now that the SRD is under Creative Commons, why can't creators state compatible with Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition on their products? How would allowing creators to do this be more harmful to the brand? Do you plan to add more content to the Creative Commons SRD, like other spells, just basically updating it at all? Has there been a change in leadership? Can we feel comfortable knowing that the people who spearheaded this initiative are no longer in a position to jeopardize the game and community again in the future? Are we to understand that Wizards of the Coast is officially considering OGL 1.08 to be irrevocable now, honoring the intended meaning behind perpetual, etc. 100% going to try out Cobalt Press. It's done by it's being developed by a very good friend of mine, so. So, questions like that are the things that are going to be asked. So, like I said, I want to work with other creators to make sure we're not like I said, we don't know how much time we have, and if it's a finite amount of time, I want to make sure that like I don't say, if you did sign the OGL 1.1 in December. And then like Bob Worldbuilder asks the same question. Well, that doesn't really benefit us if we both ask, because we could divvy it up essentially. Yes, I just didn't get a chance to record my video on Project Black Flag Fridays earlier today. I'll probably do that when this stream is done. The vibe has been generally, I would say, a positive. What am I excited about for my channel? I'm excited that now I have no shortage of content. Because I'm looking into other RPGs. I'm excited to see the influx of new followers that go along with the fact that I'll be bringing in covering new RPGs. But I'm also excited in the same way that I won't necessarily have to 100% stop covering Dungeons and Dragons related things, which I was going to do, in solidarity for everything that's been going on. But seemingly now with what they've done, I feel a little more comfortable talking about that kind of stuff. Like I have a giant box of WizKid minis to unbox, and like I made a video covering Beetle and Grimm's stuff for Spelljammer, and people in the comments were not too pleased that I was covering something related to D&D, even though it was Beetle and Grimm, not Wizards of the Coast. So, like for example, WizKids sent me their entire D&D paint line, and they're Vallejo paints, and I'd love to talk about them, but I could tell already from the comments that it wouldn't be something that people would have felt comfortable me talking about. Yep, I do have I think I have all of the Vaesen books. So I like I said, I want to cover new stuff. I want to do other actual plays on the channel. Like I said, I'm going to be doing an actual play coming up on Wednesdays in a little while here of the Army of Darkness RPG. I've already got a cast together. I'm working on the campaign right now. And I'll also be covering before that how the system works and showing off how to create a character. Well, actually, one of my players will be creating the character like alongside me in a video. So you'll be able to see how she goes about and does it, so that like that'll be another like there'll be kind of like 101 style videos for a lot of different RPGs on the channel, so you can kind of get an idea of how to play and maybe even how to create a character in these RPGs by just watching the videos that I put out. The vibe is very positive, I would say. It's very much, like I said, it's the end of the campaign. we save the world, we beat the big bad evil guy is the general vibe that I'm getting from everything at the moment. Just checking to see if anything else has come out. I'm excited that like I'll get a chance to go, I'll go meet with the folks from Baldur's Gate and Larian Studios at PAX East, and I won't get yelled at for doing that because I enjoy talking to those folks quite a bit. They're pretty nice. Listen, I'm not saying that it's all over, but we're in a period of peace at the moment. Thank you, Cinderblock. I appreciate it. Yeah, Ballad of Pelennor feels the Blackgate battle yet to be fought. Potentially, yeah. We're just kind of at the point where, we don't really know what the future's gonna hold. But like the main thing that makes a lot of people's lives easier is this Creative Commons thing. So yeah, I don't know. I might do like I said, I was doing like random late night Baldur's Gate streams for a little while. And those were really fun. So it might be nice to get back into doing those. I guess nothing's stopping me from doing it right now, to be honest with you. Who knows? Maybe I'll just do that. Maybe that's what we'll do to kill some time. We'll play some Baldur's Gate 3. And then, Thank you, Riley. Thank you for coming out. I watched today, the 3 episodes of Legends of Vox Machina that dropped today. I watched those earlier. That was fun. Anyway. Yeah, you know what? What the hell? Let's do some Baldur's Gate 3. Let me boot it up. And we'll do that. Yeah, it's been 3 episodes every Friday. I don't know how many episodes this season is. I think they're just using, I think they want to stop using like the Wizards of the Coast website for anything significant, so they're just using D&D Beyond as like a place to post things. I don't know, it's just a weird thing, but I think they're like, we have the outlet, let's use it. Yeah, I'm excited for Mighty Nine, but I was always more of a Vox Machina guy myself, just being honest with you. Like, I watched Vox Machina as it happened. I went to the first ever live show. I witnessed a lot of that stuff all as it happened, and I watched it religiously. Like Thursday nights, I was always watching it. When Mighty Nine started, I was with it. I watched probably like 90% of it. And then I just kind of fell off, and I never got back on. I watched some of the EXU stuff. Not all of it. I think I watched the whole first EXU situation. And I think I only watched the first episode of the newest campaign, and I just had I just didn't have the time. So I don't know. That's I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what other stuff they come up with too. So and I'll be honest, not that this is like my official review of Vox Machina, and I don't know if I might do one, but who knows. I did enjoy a lot of the liberties they took with both seasons of The Legend of Vox Machina, especially this current season, they had to take some liberties with how certain things happened because of just the nature of the way the game worked, right? Like, they had one shots where they brought on other characters, and that led to, certain characters getting certain items or being found in certain situations. And they just changed the way a lot of that worked to fit the story to kind of streamline it, but still get the general point across. And I like that quite a bit. Also, they couldn't use like beholders, right? Because you can't, because it's a Wizards of the Coast thing. So like you got to come up with other crazy stuff, but I've not watched anything from Dimension 20. I've watched I've seen a lot of clips. I just don't have the time. When I used to commute all the time, when I used to, before I moved to this house, I had like a 3-hour commute every day. Hour and a half one there, hour and a half back. And that was great for shredding through audiobooks and podcasts and stuff. And now I don't really commute at all. A lot of working from home and a very short commute when I do have one. So I don't really have a lot of time to sit through it. Plus, 2 kids that are older, Excuse me. Long day. All right, let's pull up some Baldur's Gate 3. Let's do some games. Give it a sec. It's gotta load. Maybe not. Sorry, my desktop is a mess. Pull this back up so you don't see my ugly desktop. It is 2 o'clock in the morning for me right now. Ocarina of Time. None of the stories from the other games that I've played have stuck with me as well as the story from Ocarina of Time. I have a large nostalgia for it. It's the first Zelda game I ever beat. I love the characters. It came out when I was in the 7th grade, 6th grade, something like that. So it was kind of like an impressionable middle school time frame too. Guys, I just had to redo all of my computer stuff when I changed this whole setup. Which, by the way, I'm loving my new setup. It is so nice. I know it doesn't seem much different to you guys probably, but it is huge. I've got my light box set up over here so I can do unboxings without having to break it down and set it back up, which is pretty nice. My favorite D&D class, if we're talking, I'm assuming we're talking 5th edition, right? Because that's the focus a lot, would be a paladin. Close second would be cleric, then wizard, then probably bard. You want to just go through all of them? Let's just do that right now. Why don't we just do that real quick ranking? All right. Ted's class is ranked in order. I should just do a ranked video at some point. Oh, let me make sure I'm loading the right game because I did start. Where is it? let's see. Yeah, if we were to go in order, I would say it's Paladin, then Cleric, then Wizard, then Bard, then Monk, Rogue, Barbarian, Druid, Fighter, Artificer, Warlock, Sorcerer, Ranger. Assuming that Hexblade is not included, because that counts separately, in my opinion. Yes and no stances only? No. I don't know if Bard should sing. I mean, I don't think you should, like, force people to do something that they might not be able to or might not want to do. Randall. Yeah, I know. Everybody wins. Taking a while to load today. But it gives me time to chat with all of you and those of you who aren't familiar with the game to see some concept art. Oh, here we go. Alright. So, here is, oh boy, this is, here's the party right now. We are playing, we got me, Larenthier, the Paladin. I brought, Asterion, he's our rogue here. We've got Shadowheart, the Cleric, and Gale, the Wizard. Oh, I have tried Bloodhunter, yes. I always, like, kind of leave it out because it's not really official. But, where do I think Bloodhunter fits on this whole scheme?
What's inside?
I would say Bloodhunter before Fighter on that list. Alright, let's go over here. I think the dog's down here. Right, he's over here somewhere. Can't remember what we did last time. Oh, he's over here. Did they change the dog model?
The dog remains at
Oh,
the
they
dead
did?
man's side, as if in mourning. The dog remains at the dead man's. The dog remains at the dead man's side, as if in mourning.
Can it interact with the dog separately? There was a... Oh, did they change it? Okay. I thought there was a way you could convince the dog to come with you. Don't I have Speak with Animals as a spell? Yeah, here it is.
I have something to ask. Go on. If he doesn't wait, I'll find you.
Alright. I do have a tri-monitor set up, yes. The game has been chugging a lot for me as of late, though. I've noticed that. Compared to the way it normally does. Or it used to do. I don't know if that's because of adjustments to... like them just adding so much more to the game. I don't think there's anything down here to see. No. Alright, we'll go back up. Okay, that's the Owlbear Cave. Alright. Oh, I went all the way down, huh? Alright. So we can go up into the Goblin Camp, but I think there's some stuff over this way. Or no, it's over here. There's a Mind Flayer pod, I think. But it's been a little while. Wait, there's a Traveler's Chest over here. That one's empty. I don't think we need that fork. Can we get down there? So yes, I have chat on one monitor, I have my OBS on another monitor, and then I've got the game on the middle monitor. Sure would be great if I could catch up to my characters and not be locked in this perspective.
Another pot for the smells like rotten eggs.
Alright, well apparently I've locked myself into this perspective, so we'll see if we can't break out of it if I bring myself back up here. Alright, well I guess we're going into the town. Oh, speak with animals until long rest. I did not realize that in this game. Oh, there we go, finally. Broke free from that perspective. Ooh, we got a pouch over here. Let's see what's in it. I didn't notice that. Oh, it's empty. Never mind. Alright, well, to the...
What's in here?
Nothing in the ensanguinated boar. Go figure. Alright, let's head into the Goblin Town. We'll get into some combat here. Now, the real question is, how do we go about this? Do we try sneaking? Because there's a bunch of goblins in here. See some up there. We could try stealthing. Alright, let's see.
Get over there! Surround them like! You spotted us. Good. It's like they say. No fun in skewing a pig what doesn't know he's cooked. We got you surrounded. Here's how this goes. You take one step further, and we'll fill your front with arrows. Or you turn around, and your backside gets the same treatment.
All right, lady.
As the symbol glows, power courses through you. Authority.
Let's pop on a guidance here. And, let's roll our dice. Here we go. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. 26. That's half elf, AJ.
Ugh. Suppose it's best to save our strength for a real threat. Go on then. Just keep your nose clean.
I mean, we're gonna kill them all.
You see anything shiny? It's ours.
Yeah, okay. Sure, lady. Ah. This is Baldur's Gate 3. Okay, here we go. Alright. Now there's a bunch of stuff in here. Okay, we want the antidote. Crystal's worth some money. I know there's a... Okay, there's a secret
It
door.
says there's a cellar here somewhere.
Yeah, there it is.
I don't see one.
Oh, potion of sleep. Where you at? Oh, potion of healing. Well, almost. I haven't been to Baldur's Gate in this city or in this game yet, so not a whole lot taking place in the city right now. Let's see. Oh, we got another antidote over here.
More for me?
No, I forget. There is a cellar. I forget. Is it through here? Oh, wait. Oh, I don't want to pick it up. Where is it? Household prayer. Thander to light, Selenite to guide, Calimbor to judge, and passage provide. Put that down. There is a cellar. I just forget how to get to it. Is it outside? It's over here somewhere, I'm pretty sure. Got no perception checks. Oh, potion of greater healing. Okay. Oh, here it is. Okay. Now let's see what I remember here. Okay. Is there a part with the... Oh man, 3 healing potions. Alright, nice. Off to a good start. Still elixir of fire resistance. Alright, we're on a roll here. Okay, oh, what we got? And they are giving you a lot more potions in this version with this patch. Okay, I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign. Elixir of poison resistance. Okay, go to the chest. Speed, fire resistance, basic poison. Oh, I know where we are. Okay. Oh, we got the garlic. Take that. You never know. We might need that. Alright, now. I need somebody. Where are you? Shadowheart?
My faith will guide me.
I need you to cast guidance on me so that I can see the secret door that's over here.
What's about? Moving in.
Oh, but it's an investigation check. Okay.
Keep your distance, darling.
I'm ready.
Shadowheart, cast guidance on Asterion. That'll be better.
Everything looks new.
Yeah, alright.
Scratch marks on the floor.
Got a potion of elixir of fire resistance. See if you can take these paintings, they're worth a ton of money. 80 gold for this portrait on the floor here.
Don't mind if I do.
Well, guess we're taking that landscape painting. 210 gold for it. Oh, is it behind here? I forget. There it is.
How much farther can I go?
Okay. Yeah, alright, I remember where we are now. We're gonna save. Oh, it's saving for us. Off to a good start. And there's all these coffins. So we're gonna go look in this coffin. Take this scroll of summon closet out. Go look in this coffin. Yeah, butts. No! Stop waking up all the other ones. Damn it. Alright, it's the rogue's turn. One up here.
Guessing.
Can you stab him? No, no sneak attack. Alright. Just stab him. Good? All good? Get him again. Almost dead. Nice job, Asterion. How about a... Oh, I don't know. Firebolt. Okay, that was solid. Alright, what are we gonna throw at this guy? We got a Sacred Flame. 1 damage. Nice.
Let's go.
Alright. It's Paladin time. Here we go.
Shouldn't have made me your enemy.
Let's throw in a smite. Later. Alright, that worked out actually surprisingly well. Well, I guess we're fighting all of them.
On the way.
No sneak attack. Alright. Critical miss. Off to a good start, Asterion.
They burn.
Alright. Firebolt. Okay. A little bit of damage. I don't think I'm on the most optimal settings, and this is a pretty sizable game, and it's had a ton of updates over time, so...
Well, so much for peace. You picked the wrong...
Yeah, critical hit. That's what I'm talking about. No! Oh, damn it. Okay. I need you... I really need you to just stop this guy from moving so he couldn't get to that, but... 75% hit chance, dude. What are you doing? Magic missile. We're not off to a good start here. Alright. Sacred Flame. He saved from the Sacred Flame.
With haste.
Okay. Can we get there? We can't. We can't make it that far. Alright, can we jump? Let's not smite this guy though. It's not worth it. Haha. Got our opportunity attack off on him. That worked out well. Oh, okay. There's a perception check over here.
Wits and blades always sharp. On I go.
Oh, wait, why did I get a perception check and you didn't? Wait, what?
A wizard's quite worthless with a tired mind. Sleep beckons, and I would follow.
Everybody failed their perception checks? That's not good. Damn. Can anybody here use a longbow? Oh, Asterion can use a longbow. Okay.
Well, hello.
I see. He's got a magic crossbow though. Makes more sense to just use that. Well, we all clearly missed something. Oh, the Dark Journal. Alright, that's the Zolkir's book here. Alright. Oh. I don't remember that happening. Alright, study the cellar. Got a shovel over there.
Don't waste a step.
Oh, 7 gold pieces. Arrow of Ilmater. Check this guy.
Traps, please.
Just got a hand axe. Get the gold.
Open up.
Oh, just a candle. She did a pretty good job of not killing us, getting killed here. Alright, now we got this mirror. We're gonna save first.
Speak your name.
Forget about that.
I do not know this name.
Yeah.
If you are known to my master, step forward and declare yourself an ally. Only a true. What think you of the Zolkir known as Zastan?
Oh, I fell that.
You are nosed. Tell me, why might one use balsam ointment?
Oh, crap.
Acceptable.
Oh, I did it right.
Finally.
Finally, I forgot.
If you could see anything in me, what would it be? You seek to survive.
Yeah.
You seek power. Be welcome.
Okay. Alright, now we're in this. Oh boy, okay.
A well-guarded laboratory. What were they hiding down here?
A lot of stuff. And we got basilisk oil, scroll of featherfall, a couple of books. I know we gotta do the funky book. Okay, what else is down here? Skeletons, some research notes. Yeah. gotta give Gale circlet.
The air is ripe with magic.
When you deal fire damage with a non-cantrip spell, gain a bonus action. That's pretty cool. Just about the... Alright, take this antidote.
At least things have stayed interesting. With haste.
Look at the wooden chest. Chill touch, speak with dead. Alright, there's a key over here. Okay, where is it? Oop. Where the hell am I? Oh, I think this is the key to leave. Okay. Or maybe that's the key to get into the secret room that's over here. Okay. Let us see. Oh no, wait, it's trapped. If I recall. Yeah, this book here. Alright, a save because that book we need. I don't remember if there's something over here we can use to activate it. Because there's definitely... The book is really cool. And I... Oh, wait. Stereo. Disarm this trap. Oh, nice. Easy peasy.
Have a lot on my mind and, well,
Oh, wait.
in it.
Okay, now. Will reading this book break my
The
oath?
necromancy of Thay. Sounds ominous.
Woo! That worked out. That could have been a lot worse. Alright, that worked out. Another trap disarmed. Yeah, the real question. Does reading this book break my paladin oath?
Still alive, so that's progress.
Alright, let's find out. Okay. We should set up for stuff.
There's no time to waste.
I think you're gonna cast Enhance Ability. You're gonna cast, where is it? Owl's Wisdom on me.
No rest for the
Gale.
wicked, I see.
Do you have it, or does Asterion have it?
Watch your back.
Asterian's gonna cast. Come over here. Cast Guidance on me.
Can't give up.
I will read the book.
The book is locked tight with no visible keyhole, only an oval recess in the cover's mouth. You try to examine the book, but the longer you stare, the more those piercing amethyst eyes draw
Oh, we're
you
supposed to
in.
put something in its mouth.
You can sense something dark about this tome. Something profane.
Curious. Why don't you take a closer look? I'll observe from back here.
That looks terribly heavy. Why don't you let me carry it for you?
I have my fair share of experience with dangerous books. I'll take that off your hands into more prepared ones.
There's something we're supposed to put in it, and
These boots have seen everything.
there's like an orb. Where the hell is it? Did we... was it in one of the bodies that we didn't kill? I just wasted all those spells for nothing. Essentially. Yeah, there might have been a guy that we didn't kill.
Let's have a look.
Oh, just a bone. Okay. Yeah, I remember there was an orb. Don't know if that was the perception check that we all failed. Hmm. Oh. Mace. Oh. Where the hell is that stupid thing? Yeah, there's an orb we're supposed to set into the thing's chest, or the thing's mouth, or whatever. No, you might be right. There was a perception check that all 4 of us failed.
I'll take that.
Hmm. And there's no way to re-roll a perception check, which is unfortunate.
Charmed, I'm sure.
What's next?
Hello again.
Alright, cat. Your turn. Can the cat make a perception check? Oh, boo. Cat should be able to make a perception check. It would be very dumb if there's no way for us to find the thing that goes in that book.
Never wanted the easy path. Might be useful.
Honestly, we might have to reload. You know what? I think I'm going to do that. Because I don't want to miss that thing. Connor Norton, it seems like for the time being, everything is okay. but you know, there's still more to be determined. Yeah, I know the book isn't the best, but I know it gives cool stuff. I also know if you're a warlock, it's easier to do because you can get a free pass for one of the saves that you have to make because your patron just gives it to you for free. I don't know if I should. I feel like the paladin's gonna feel like it's gonna break my oath to read that book.
If not over, then through.
Can we hamstring this guy? That wasn't bad.
Ready.
Okay.
No mercy. Intent!
A tale for the ages. Of course.
Eat this!
Nope. Stop it. No, I wanted to. Oh, damn it. Alright, that's one down at least. Oh, damn it. Let's see here. Well, that didn't work.
Give up. Not now.
I have no AoE, really. That's the only problem. That was good.
Dull moment. Have to keep going. Outmaneuver them.
Really thought I was within 5 feet. No? Alright. Alright. That was a good hit. Another one down.
My faith will protect me. Heading there.
No choice but to keep going. You've made a grave mistake.
Alright.
What path lies before me? Someone there?
Alright, let's see if we can figure it out this time.
Let's get going. Best be on my way.
I'm
Something
so
over there.
tired. How do people do this all day?
Okay. That didn't have it. After all that shit, it didn't have it. I have no idea where the hell that stone is then. Yeah, I've been looking forward to this game for a long time too. I'm a big fan. You know what, guys? I think I'm actually gonna call the stream. I was gonna keep going, but I'm actually kind of feeling a little tired. And I think it might be worth me just, doing the mental health thing and calling the game a little bit early. So, I think I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'll have some videos and stuff coming out over the next couple days, so I appreciate everybody who came to hang out. And yeah, I'll see you all next time.